This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
If you like to talk about tomatoes, Baconsale might make you smile. Tearing veggies like the potato up and down the produce aisle.
We got a show for you. Baconsale, 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 Baconsale.
Oh, that's fun.
Broccoli.
No,
celery. No,
that's forthcoming.
I
Sound like we were chanting our own names a lot.
We do that.
Baconsale.
Welcome to Baconsale. I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
I'm Zack.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our last show, our highest grossing movies of all time, Just for Inflation show.
Did we
Just
bum some people out with that show?
A little bit, I
Yeah?
think. I'm not exactly sure why. There was
Well, we
a lot
mentioned
of
inflation. I think that's kind of like a trigger word right now.
A little bit. There was
Yeah.
we were actually there was some listener who were angry before they even knew what we were talking about,
Right.
because of the word inflation. There was also a little bit of anger that we made some comments about The Force Awakens being better than the prequels. That made
He didn't mean it. He didn't mean
certain
it.
people.
I meant it then.
Kyler upset. There's also the capital L listener, Chad, who was throwing out controversial opinions about the movie E.T.
Yeah. He's like, I need to revisit it, but I think it's stupid. And I'm like, well, you got to revisit it first.
We set Paul Jeffries off a little bit on. Apparently, he does not like AI. On a somewhat related note, hey man, don't go see the new Mission Impossible movie. Okay, you're gonna hate it.
Little does he know, Jake was actually just AI.
The whole
There
time.
never was a Jacob.
The whole time.
But thank you for participating anyway.
Yeah, no, truly.
And do our friend Kent a favor. Jump on Instagram. Go ahead and like the image for this episode. And
For the last episode.
yeah, there's a lot of
Go explore the image
Easter
from
eggs.
last episode. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there. Can't put a lot of work into it.
My art.
It's going to the end of the year.
Sometimes, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put a little bit more work into it, and I was so proud to show these guys what I was creating along
It's really
the way.
It was a lot of fun.
It's really so good.
Yeah, and actually kind of hard to counterfeit money.
It's the
Letting you guys
official.
know.
Oh, by the way, the FBI contacted me. They want to know what
yeah.
you're up to.
What did they say?
They're going to arrest you soon.
Okay.
And we now figured out that Baconsalia has an official $2.5 billion bill.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Inflation's crazy in Baconsale. But that's not what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today, Zach?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. Now, wait. The last time we were forced into talking about fruit
Yes.
was when your wife was here.
It's true.
Oh, hey.
The curtain has been pulled back.
What? You've been here the whole time?
The whole time you were.
The whole time?
The whole time. Mrs. Doubtfire reference? Really?
It wasn't on the comedy bracket. Should have been. So
Yeah.
Should have been.
But no, welcome, Babs. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here to talk about vegetables.
It felt only right because last year when I was telling people, hey, we're going to rank fruit.
Yep, on episode 354, Fruit by the Tier.
Everyone said, you guys out of ideas? And then they listened and they said, that was pretty good. So here we are.
It was one of the highlights
Once again.
Honestly, it was one of the highlights of the year. We talked about it in the end of your show. It was
Yeah.
it was oddly a lot of fun. And we thought, hey, what if lightning could strike twice?
What's slightly less fun than fruit? Vegetables?
Vegetables.
I mean, kind of. There's lots of non-vegetables that'll be discussed today, as
Well,
I'm sure
that's-
Joe will correct.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like last time we discluded, is that a word? Some fruits
Excluded.
because they were more vegetable in nature. And now we're kind of doing it again with this episode. So, because we're going to be talking about vegetables, and we're going to be tiering and ranking them.
Babs, how do you feel about being pigeonholed into shows like this? Are you okay with this?
I'm actually quite flattered. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like these are like the worst topics, and I'm here to bring in the
somehow-
energy
yeah,
and
they
make
just
them all.
work when you're
Yeah.
here.
Say worse, but honestly, relatable. Because I'll tell you
Totally.
what, there are people who have not seen the highest grossing movies of all time, but I think everyone out there has eaten corn.
Okay.
You know
I
who
mean, it's corn.
especially
A big
who
lump
has
with knobs?
It's got the juice. Or it has the juice.
Guys,
This
no.
episode is again for the women out there, those who grocery shop and
Wait.
try to
Are you saying
buy
just because we
trick
don't eat
their
vegetables?
families. Kent, how many vegetables does Haribo make?
Actually,
Burn.
what they
Oh, I love the celery frogs. They're so
Yeah,
celery
those-
frog.
But we are going to be ranking and tiering 24 vegetables.
Vegetables.
I almost said fruits. Vegetables on this episode, which means 8 tier 1s being the highest, 8 tier 2s being the middle, and 8 tier 3s being the worst.
Are you guys vegetable fans?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me take.
You
a
guys
step
sounded
back.
so confident.
Let me take a step
veggies
back.
are so good.
I have strong opinions of fruit that I love and fruit that I don't love, and then like right in the middle there is every vegetable. Like
Okay.
I don't like love any vegetable, but there's not a ton that I totally hate.
See, where Joel got kind of picked apart, and by kind of I mean really picked apart for his fruit opinions.
Yes.
I have the same like trajectory for vegetables. There's some vegetables I
You
absolutely
called
hate.
blueberries dry.
Yeah, you were like coughing on air, talking about their
Yeah,
little
no. I was,
stems.
but I was right on that show. This show, people
No.
may be upset.
You dropped kiwis in ranch.
Yeah, but they're tier 1 still. Oh,
I'm so-
especially
Well, but
in
that's the
ranch.
weird thing.
Sorry about your sizzler stuff.
Because I have the weird aversion to certain types of fruit. I don't know why I'm so picky about fruits.
Yeah.
You don't like
All
cantaloupe.
fruits.
You don't like
But
pineapple.
Pineapple.
Oh yeah, but there is not a single one on here that I hate as much as any of those fruits.
Watermelon.
In fact, I like most of the vegetables, and I love some of them. Like the tier 3s for me were difficult this time because I'm like, well, I put it in a tier 3, but I don't hate it. Like I really can only think of one on here that I really don't like.
Here's
Do you
what
know
makes-
why?
Why?
Because the fruit we were really considering in its raw, natural form, everything on here is made better with ranch or butter. Am I wrong?
And cheese.
You're not wrong.
It's like, hey, do you like crunchy ranch? Do you like mildly crunchy ranch?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Do you like
yeah, I
squishy
do.
butter?
That's what
Yeah.
makes this show kind of tough, right? Because we could talk about vegetables in their raw form or like a Pokemon evolution of vegetables, right?
absolutely.
Where it's like, are they boiled or, are they in a dip or whatever?
Sautéed.
But the truth is,
Steamed.
fruits are supposed to be eaten in their raw form because
So-
they're supposed to be consumed that
so
way.
are vegetables.
Some
Get the most nutrients.
some vegetables, if eaten raw, can kill you.
Oh, that's fun.
That's way fun, actually.
Yeah. So we're playing a little danger game today. May I give some quick veggie facts?
I mean, I'm
Please
sure you
do.
have them.
Oh, hold on. That's
I
why
do.
we're here.
So we talked about the definition of a fruit and what a fruit is on the last episode, on episode 354. But do you guys know the definition of vegetable?
Tell us, please.
It basically means growing and flourishing thing. It means any plant cultivated for food, an edible herb or root. So it's any plant, part of which is used for food. That's the definition of vegetable. Any plant.
So fruits are vegetables then?
Well,
Technically,
no, because think about it. You eat what the plant bears with fruit. In this case, you eat the plant. You pull the carrot out of the ground and you eat the carrot. You don't eat what comes off of the leaf of the carrot.
some people did though. That was we'll get to that. But no, it includes all edible plant matter, including flowers, fruits, stems, leaf, roots, and seeds.
So this is like if you're desperate, you're eating a vegetable because you're eating the leaf of something.
Yeah, or
right?
just
You've already eaten the
any
fruit.
part of it. That's why it was such a
Sure.
weird, broad definition. I'm like, well, then what is a vegetable? But there's kind of an alternative definition that is the savory things you eat. So
Right.
that includes things like tomatoes and zucchini and even broccoli, like they're flowers, but they're
Right.
considered a vegetable because that new definition that we kind of given stuff is fruit is sweet, vegetables are not. The year of 1955 was the first shortened use of the slang term veggie. That's when the 50s happened.
Okay.
The veggie era.
Nice.
Now, as we talked about, some of these can be eaten raw, some of these can be eaten cooked, and they have huge importance in finding vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. These vegetables are important to get a lot of.
One thing I found weird in my research is that these vegetables were invented and kind of discovered, but they talked about when they were introduced, or people have only been eating this vegetable for the past 100 years.
Well-
and I'm like, did people create?
No, much
like a
much
hybrid?
like the fruit thing. I'm shocked by how cultivated these had to be.
Yeah.
Were growing in the wild, they were bitter or poisonous, and then people cultivated them with other stuff, and it's like, oh, now it's edible and delicious. Let's add some butter. But here's the important thing. It's not just your digestion as well.
Sure.
The consumption of crunchy and hard to chew foods, such as raw vegetables, in youth while the bones are still growing is needed for humans and other animals' jaws' proper development. If you don't eat those crunchy, chewable things, your jaws do not grow to their full size, and they don't leave room for the teeth that are supposed to grow in, so it can cause crooked and impacted teeth.
What?
So that's another reason to eat your vegetables, for pretty teeth.
Do they have vegetables in England?
Clearly not. It's all mushy food there.
Yeah.
Meat pies.
But there's been some legal question as to what is a vegetable as well.
Okay.
The question, and I'm going to put this right here, even though we're going to be talking about tomatoes later on, because people are going to freak out about that because they're like, it's a fruit. Technically, yes, you're right. But the question whether a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable was in the United States Supreme Court in 1893. They were talking about tariffs on vegetables versus fruits. And the court ruled unanimously in Nix versus Hedden that a tomato is correctly identified and thus taxed as a vegetable.
Legally,
it's a vegetable. Well, they also did clarify botanically it is a fruit.
No.
But legally it's a vegetable.
I am of the opinion that Pluto is still a planet and tomato is a
It's a
vegetable.
dwarf planet.
Yeah.
Counts.
Count it.
Counts.
Yeah. So there you go. Some basic veggie facts to get us on the road here. Should we just start tearing?
Nothing about defecation this time.
No.
This is going to be a better show.
We have time.
Yet.
Yet.
Uh-oh. There's a lot of
the
vegetables.
fiber.
A
You
lot of
mentioned the
vegetables
fiber.
cause tummy issues.
Yeah.
All right, let's do these veggie tiers.
Wait, before we begin, I have something I would like to say.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I re-listened to the fruit show today,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel like I owe an apology to Joel.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
I was really mean to you, Joel.
I cried a lot.
So I just want you to know it was all just for entertainment. Since you're my husband's best friend, I just want to clear the air. Make sure
Are you going
that
to be apologizing to Kent now
My
on the next show?
have come off.
I hope we agree a lot tonight. I
I
would
hope
like
so
to
as well.
extend you a friendly
My goal tonight was
Babs boop.
She actually said at one point, she's like, well, since you're Joel's best friend, maybe I should be Kent's best friend. So yeah, somebody.
Kent, do you want to be my best friend?
I don't need your pity. Best friendship.
We're going
Listen,
to Oppenheimer.
it's-
It's not pity.
It's hard enough to hear these guys say it, but when you confirm it, that cuts real deep.
I'm sorry.
much like we have to cut vegetables in order to
that
cut
must
the
be cut.
process.
And we are going to get to our veggie tier list.
You're a monster.
I just trying to be nice to Joel.
We are going in alphabetical order, 24 different vegetables. And it's, you can't see this, because there's no video here, but like we're air quotes vegetables,
Yeah.
We've got you covered from artichoke to zucchini with, of course, first artichoke. Well, Babs, go and get us started. How do you feel about the artichoke?
Does Joel have fun facts for
I
us?
do. I have fun facts for
not
each of these again.
Thank you.
I have 12 pages of notes, which is one more page
one
than I
more
had for
page.
fruits.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes. No, the word artichoke comes from the classical Arabic harshafa, which means scale, because they look like scales on the outside.
Oh,
It is native to the Mediterranean region, which actually a lot of these are. I should just full thing right at the top, banner right at the top here. Last time we talked about how much China dominates fruit.
Mm-hmm.
They dominate vegetables even more.
Yeah.
They are the highest producer in almost every single one of these, except this one. Italy is the largest producer of artichokes. Thank you, Italy.
So this is actually an unbloomed flower, and it's part of the sunflower family.
oh,
It's a
lovely.
thistle.
Artichokes are part of the
species of thistle.
sunflower?
Yeah.
Hold on, updating my list.
Thank you, Jeff Goldblum.
Kent, what part of the artichoke do you eat?
All of it.
No.
No, let me explain.
Kalima,
because
grab the heart.
I was raised eating artichokes, and I think a lot of these veggies may be acquired taste because I've known people, I've gone on dates with people that don't eat certain vegetables. But for me, I was raised in a home where we had melted butter, not mayo. Don't be a pervert, okay? If you're listening right now, don't eat artichokes and mayo. It's gross.
I've never eaten it with mayo. It's only the butter with
Some
seasoning in
people
it.
do. Yeah,
Who
so we
does that?
Garlic seasoning.
perverts. Oh, so we had melted butter, and you have to peel off like the outer 3 layers
You
of
peel
the
off,
pointy
yeah.
leaves.
You pull off
and
the
by the way,
leaves.
you always grab it by the leaves, and you're like, "Ow, jeez, like that's
Why am I eating
thorns."
this?
They are so spiky.
But then you kind of it's so weird. It's the weirdest food because it's a time investment.
You stick
And
the
scrape-
fleshy lower portion,
You
as it's
scrape
called.
like this. Your teeth go. "Arrgh."
Yeah,
and
you
then
stick it in your
scrape
teeth
off,
and scrape it out.
and you have a little bit of guts, and then you kind of throw that on the plate, and you try to make a big pile and try to not knock it over. And then when you get to that heart, you have to get a spoon and take off the little thistles.
Yeah, well, you
know?
have to remove the inedible choke. You have to peel that away from the base.
Do they call that a
heart.
choke because
Yeah.
you would actually choke on it?
It's called the fleshy lower portion, that part that you eat.
Oh.
And then the choke is inedible. You have to peel that away.
What,
too.
Babs? Anyways, and then you take the remaining butter that
Don't
has
listen
all
to
the
my
other
thoughts.
goo in there, and you dip the heart in, and you just that thing is just amazing.
Make a meal out
It
of
is.
it.
But I'll tell you what, preparing these is a nightmare. Having to steam them and having to get them all right, it's a nightmare.
Do the time wise because I just like set it and forget it.
It's just
And it
one of those
works
things
out.
where I'm like, this is way too much work for how little I'm getting
You
out
put
of
it in
each
a big
bite.
pot.
It's
with
an
boiling
activity,
water.
right?
Yeah.
It's got its own little spoons.
Wait, so you're saying as a parent, this is tough, But eating it is that a different
if
story
someone
for
else is
you?
preparing it. If this is in a dip,
As a man.
if this is spinach artichoke dip,
As a man.
This is too much effort.
no, this is a time investment. It's a great pizza topping as well.
It is.
Everything about this, like there's a treasure in
if
the middle.
someone else is doing the work, I'm in this.
like, so this is
It's like a
absolute tier one.
pirate veggie.
It is a pirate veggie, and you might lose a hand while eating it.
Yeah, there is a lot of protection, a lot of.
Artichokes,
Giving it a tier 1.
straight up.
Wow.
Babs, what do you think?
I kind of feel like the artichoke is the pomegranate of the vegetables.
Yes.
You know?
Wow.
No, it's
There
delicious.
is no beautiful heart in a
but
pomegranate.
it's a lot of work to get a little bit of juice in an artichoke.
That's
It's a
what
lot
I'm
of work to get a little bit of.
Oh, I
meat.
like to take my time, guys.
Hey, you know,
It's an activity and
Why
it's an
was it
investment.
offensive?
You have to really take your time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of preparation for a little payoff, but the payoff is good. And I do
Good
agree.
payoff.
Like the marinated, delicious hearts on pizza, salads, stuff like that. So it landed at a tier 2 for me. I'm so.
It is
sorry,
a tier.
best friend.
It is a tier 2 for me as well.
Is it because you can't eat all the leaves?
Oh yeah, because like sometimes you get like the hard part of the leaf and you have to kind of spit that out. But spinach artichoke dip.
We
Zach,
talked about this. Most Americans
Most
eat
Americans.
Most
American than apple
American.
pie.
but it is delicious and I absolutely love it. And I will, if there's artichoke in something, I'm like, I will try that. Yes, I will have that.
That sounds like a tier 1.
It is, but it's eating it itself. It's a lot of work, and this got pushed out. Like I said, this is one that got pushed down to tier 2. I would have had it in tier 1 because of the taste, but the work pushed it down to a tier 2.
Wow.
Zach,
Kent, let's be best friends for this category.
Okay.
I think they're tier 1.
They are absolutely
I think artichokes
tier 1.
are entertaining and delicious.
Zach, will you do the little tea thing and
Let's
stuff
do
out
that.
on the gut?
just drag it through your teeth.
Little strainer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I got the top retainer now. I haven't had an artichoke since I got my top permanent retainer. It's probably better now. Oh, this is great. No, I think they're tier 1. I do think they are best in their kind of pickled form in a jar. It's super easy to just throw them onto a salad, a pizza, whatnot, like already been mentioned. I think they're delicious. Tier 1 for me. Next, we have asparagus.
The word asparagus derives from the Persian word meaning twig or branch because that's what they look like. And indeed, if you let them grow too long, that's what they become. Although some people, I don't know who, calls these sparrowgrass. Like asparagus has become
Children?
sparrowgrass. I don't know.
Can I have some sparrow grass? You're like, why would you want that anyways?
In Turkish,
That sounds
asparagus is known as kuskunmaz,
These shows.
which literally means a bird won't land on it.
What?
A bird won't land on
It's
it.
probably
spiky.
because of the scent. In fact, they can make some things stink. How descriptive can I be?
Ken, if you use the word urine, I'm okay with it.
They can make your urine stink.
make your
Thank
pee
you,
go.
Joel.
They do
They make your
within
pee
like
stink.
an hour, like so quick.
That is from something called asparagusic acid, which is a thing.
Which so made up.
I just made it up.
Asparagusic acid.
Asparagusic acid from asparagus. The body converts that into smelly sulfur-containing compounds. So there's
Yes.
a reason it stinks.
Although there is a question as to
Like Cheerios.
There's a question though,
Cheerios has
however,
the same effect.
there's a question
You know
as to
this.
whether you have the gene that it happens to you or whether you have the gene that you can smell it because it could be happening to everyone and some people just can't smell it.
So it's like a gift. It's like an X-Men
Let's get back
thing.
to food.
Gift.
Let's
I can smell asparagus.
let's get back to
Genetic gift.
food.
Can you roll your tongue or smell asparagus urine?
Or you have cilantro curse. Cilantro.
Weird. Anyway,
This show's off the rails.
This is native to most of Europe and Western temperate Asia. Brought to North America by European settlers in 1655. Don't eat the berries. If you see this grow in the wild, do not eat the berries. The
There's
small red
asparagus
berries
berries?
are toxic to humans.
It makes berries?
Well, these actually turn into like woody branches.
if you don't eat it soon
if you,
enough.
if they're actually harvested when they're young.
This
You've
feels
had-
like a fairy tale.
You've had some stems where you're like, okay.
That's a twig.
That's definitely a tree.
Let's be honest. 60% of the stem is inedible.
No.
40% is someone boils it and you're like, I'll just eat the top part. It's like the people that don't eat their crust. You're like, just the top.
Top of the muffin.
By the way, fun fact, Helmut Zipner peeled literally a ton of asparagus in 16 hours. He holds the world record in asparagus peeling.
Now we know.
Now, did you guys know
They
that was
have
thing?
a peel? Like a banana?
No, like, yeah, well,
I think they're quite appealing. In fact, I'm going to give them a tier 1. Ooh. Because I think they are my favorite side to a steak that isn't a potato. I think that
What a review.
Yeah. They're delicious. When they're cooked well, plenty of butter. I mean, I don't does anybody eat these raw?
No, I think he does.
I think you can put like in salads. They can put like pieces of asparagus, like the tops of it.
Even in,
a little top.
I think it'd be like a spear down your throat. I think you would.
Yeah.
it's salads.
Internal
stuff.
bleeding.
Spear, I
I've never
guess.
had 'em touched. I think asparagus is great, and maybe I have the wrong gene or something, but I'm just going to give it a tier
So you
1.
can't smell it.
I don't know.
You can't go to Professor Xavier's school.
I
smelling.
am no veggie mutant.
It's a sad school.
Joel, what do you think?
For me, I'm a recent convert to asparagus. It was not a big staple of my childhood growing up. However, my wife makes fantastic asparagus every time she makes it, whether it's on the grill or in the oven. I am absolutely in. This is a tier 1 vegetable for me, and I'm happy to always get it.
Kent?
Tier 3.
What?
I'm really
Tier
sorry. This
3?
is the least efficient veggie out there.
What?
You just artichoke. We just talked about artichoke.
Listen, that heart is worth it. This thing just has the top. You eat the cap, and you're like, okay, thank you, next. And then it looks like you're picky, and you just leave it on your plate. Yeah.
Gets over here with his artichoke buried treasure.
This is one.
Dunking on asparagus.
Listen, veggies are really powerful if you can eat them raw and cooked. This is one you can only eat when it's been bathing in butter, and that's the only way.
Garlic.
So it gets a tier 3. I like them, but once again,
Bacon.
Soy sauce.
yeah.
Okay, fine.
I don't hate them, but they're still tier 3.
We eat lots of asparagus. I grew up with asparagus.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this, our history with vegetables. We all had families with fruit trees. My mom has an amazing vegetable garden, so we grew up with lots of stuff. And asparagus is not something she grew, but...
we had a history of wonderful vegetables. Not this one, though.
Makes sense.
Now we know.
Asparagus was my dad's favorite vegetable, so we would always eat it whenever he chose what was for dinner. But we always ate them with our hands. I don't know if you guys did this, like pick them up and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, like your Bugs
Like a
Bunny
squirrel.
a little
Sure.
bit, or a squirrel.
Married
Yeah.
a family of rabbits.
So we steam them, lots of butter. Oh, here's a tip for all you women out there
People who cook.
buying asparagus. The best asparagus is the size of a pencil. And steam it till it's bright green, and then
Really?
and then toss it in some browned butter. Amazing. Tier 2.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's fair.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So that's a lot of hype for tier 2.
Yeah, she's really sold it. But more so, I want to go into her family's history with the vegetable growing.
Sure.
So
my mom grew so many vegetables, but not those. Next, we have avocado.
These are native to the Americas. Finally, most of these are from the Mediterranean, but this one is American. And it's
Is this a vegetable?
it's a butter fruit, is
It's
what they
a
call it in parts of
savory
India.
berry.
Butterfruit.
where did the name avocado originate from, and what does it mean?
I really don't know. There's so many different conflicting things because some people say it's related to advogado, which is lawyer, and it's like alligator pear. Like I could not get a handle on where it
It's
is.
a very male strong reference.
That's what. Okay,
Avocado.
Kent, I am.
That's why they don't call
I'm
leaving it
calling
there.
fact on this.
Why they don't call them
That
avocados.
came after the fact. I was reading up on the etymology of avocado.
Okay.
And they said that became slang after the fact rather than that being
So
the
you
reason for
family
the
friendly
name.
Wikipedia.
No, Wikipedia says,
Okay.
actually, and it says this is not actually the way it is.
Yeah, but I would say this is not for women. This is a man vegetable.
Avocados?
Even though women eat it, and I'll tell you,
This is a millennial vegetable.
in this,
It literally looks pregnant.
so that's a good point. In summer of 2017, 3 million photos of avocado toast were uploaded to Instagram.
Why?
Women.
Yeah.
The first written record
love
of the
it.
English use of the word avocado was by Hans Sloane, who coined the term in a 1696 Index of Jamaican Plants. So we can blame Hans for that. This is a climacteric fruit, which is one that matures on the tree but ripens off the tree. And then it's, for 1 second it's ripe and then it's bad after that. It takes
Very narrow window.
Now, here's a weird fact. It takes approximately 18 gallons of applied fresh ground or surface water, not including rainfall or natural moisture in the soil, to grow one avocado.
Wow.
18 gallons of water for one avocado. Is that not insane?
That's insane.
Yeah. And here we consider them more of a savory thing in guacamole and whatnot. But in the Philippines, Brazil, Indonesia, and Vietnam, it's used in milkshakes and ice cream and other desserts, and they put sugar on it
I
because
would
they
try that.
consider this to be a sweet fruit.
I would try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mexico, by the way, wins here with nearly 30% of the global harvest comes from Mexico.
All right, Babs, how do you feel about this?
I am a basic white girl, and I love avocados
Yeah.
in every form. I love it on the toast.
Love it on the toast.
I love it raw. We feed it to the baby.
Love it on the raw. Feeding it to the baby.
He's going to keep going.
Just gonna keep.
It's like one of my favorite things ever. And as Zach can attest to, if we are at a restaurant and there's a burger or a sandwich or a salad and it simply has avocado on it, it doesn't matter what else is there. I will order it.
Since when
Tier 1.
did avocado and guacamole become a sign of prestige? Because it really is.
Because when
is
you-
it Chipotle?
Since inflation
No,
made
I think it's-
avocados $4
I think it's Chipotle,
each.
and you're like, oh, what's this big burrito place? And then they're like, oh, you want guacamole? That's extra. You're like, what? This is now good. This is an elite vegetable / fruit, and it's a tier 1.
Tier 1.
I wish I could give it a tier 1.
Joel.
I wanted
You
to give it a
can.
tier 1.
Joel.
It's in your power.
I'm like you, Babs,
just do
where
it.
I see avocado in something and I'm like, oh, yes, I want that now.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I absolutely love guacamole too, but here's the problem. And I don't know what it is. Remember I talked about in the last show how bananas sometimes will make my throat close a little weird?
Mm-hmm.
Avocados, no idea why, because I love the flavor. But if the aftertaste remains in my mouth, I get gaggy. And I don't know why. Like if it's the last flavor I have, like I'm eating avocado. And
Are
it's like
you
there.
eating the pit?
But they
is that
are
what you're trying to do?
It's really
Is that
hard.
your-
I just suck on it, like for like,
okay.
it's like an everlasting gobstopper. But no, I honestly don't know what it is because I love avocados, but I get really kind of like almost nauseous if that's the aftertaste in my mouth. And so I
Wow.
give this a tier 2. But I love avocados, and I wish I could give it a tier 1, and I would have if we did not have the strict 8-8-8 going on here.
I did not
Well,
grow up.
whose fault is that?
Bacon sales.
I did not grow up with avocados, so I didn't have them until I was in college.
Your dad didn't farm everything but these?
He did not. He did not. we
Very
had a
important
lovely,
thing to know.
we had a lovely farm, and avocados weren't there. No, but I didn't have them until I was in college. I was working at Sizzler, as has been well documented on the show, and I was preparing the display bowls for the salad bar.
Yeah.
And on them were avocados. And we had a string there where there was a lot of really bad avocados, and we would have to like send them back to the vendor and get credit for them and all of that. And so every few avocados, if I felt like it was a little mushy, I had to cut it open just to see, because maybe it was an entire bad box. And because of that, I discovered that with enough force, you can absolutely fruit ninja style slice through the pit of an avocado.
Really?
I would throw them up in the air and like try and knock them out of the park. And it was some of the most fun moments of my entire life.
I bet.
Not that.
Do you know how many people go to hospitals for hand injuries from trying to cut out the pit of avocado?
Just like slap the knife
lot.
on there and twist. That's super easy.
Yes.
So I became a big fan. I would literally try them back there to make sure they were good. And I was like, the aftertaste is kind of awesome here. And I slowly got
don't know
converted to them. And
Cutting
they're-
them in 2 is great too.
yeah, for sure. Tier 1.
All right.
And cut them up fruit ninja style.
Joel, you ruined it.
I know, and I feel bad about that one because I really do like avocados a lot.
But how do you feel about beets?
Bears. Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, geez.
Beets, by the way, are native to the coast of the Mediterranean.
Not by Dre, for the record.
No. And it came from the Latin name beetroot, which basically just means kind of a root.
Yeah,
That's
and beetroot's
what it
still
is.
around. A lot of parts of the world will still use beetroot.
Yeah, in British English, they call it beetroot. Here in
Right.
America, we call it beets. These are actually kind of interesting because they were used for like medical conditions, like anything relating to the digestion and blood. They're like, give them a beet.
Yeah.
Give them a beet. That'll help them.
Or
give them a beet.
dyeing your hair.
Yeah, because the red color
Or
will-
something else that comes out of your body.
Some people have felt like they've had some kidney injuries because if you eat too many beets, your body can't process the color and it's excreted.
Listen, I'm going to start eating beets on the regular because many cultures believe that if a man and woman eat from the same beetroot, they will fall in love.
Aww.
So be careful. If I offer you a beetroot, just be careful. Just saying. If we happen to go to Raventino's and get their salads, be warned.
Are you also going to throw an apple at this person?
Is that something I do? Oh, it is something I will do.
But this is like when they talk about natural colors and flavors, a lot of times they'll use betanin, not to say it, betanin from the roots of beets to use for tomato pastes and sauces and desserts and jams and jellies and ice creams and breakfast cereals, because then it's technically a natural color.
Yeah.
But it's from beets. These can be eaten boiled, roasted, raw. I don't know why you would. The only time I kind of avoid beets in Thanksgiving, but I have had borscht, and that wasn't bad, but it was
Right.
mostly sour cream and beets.
I'm going to
Yum.
make a recommendation for you. So I discovered beetroot in Australia, and there was like a roadside diner that had the best hamburger I've ever eaten in my life, and it had a full fried egg on it, had a whole bunch of like just good fixins, and one of them was a pickled slice of beetroot. And it was literally,
call it
I'm
beets.
drooling. I'm drooling right now.
Call it a beet, you American.
It was a beetroot, mate. and it was delicious to the point.
And beetroot.
Now I will strive
tried
to
that.
find beetroot and put it on my burgers. It is the best addition to a burger.
You can only find beets here in America.
That's true.
By Dre.
So no, I recommend that everyone tries this, and it's healthy too.
What are you giving it then?
It's a tier 2 for me. I will never eat this raw ever because why? I really enjoy it, but I don't really seek it out unless it's like a special occasion.
Babs?
Yeah, I feel like if I really wanted to taste dirt on my burger, I would definitely put a beet
my
on it.
Word.
Beets
Tastes like dirt?
are dirt water. They are, if dirt could bleed, it would turn into a beet.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, personal.
That said tier 2, right?
Did your family grow this or not?
No, we didn't grow this. My mom has some integrity.
We just
Dwight.
lost all of our beet audience.
Oh, all 2 of you. Dwight is nuts. These are bad. Tier 3.
I did not have beets until I started working at Sizzler. And actually at the
Oh,
time,
here we go.
at the time, I did not cut them Fruit Ninja style. There was actually a massive shortage of, this was in 2008. There was a massive shortage
I remember
of
that.
homes and beets at the time. I don't know why. Shoestring beets were of poor quality. And so we couldn't get them in. And so I was curious about this mysterious beet that people were asking for that we didn't have. And so I finally got them and tried it. And I'm like, oh, that tastes like dirt. No, really, they do. They taste like dirt. That said, I kind of like them.
Wait, what?
They're dirt that's not too bad.
Elite dirt.
Yeah, like good dirt.
So what do you give it?
Tier 3. But like it, I'll occasionally, when I'm being spicy, I'll throw it on the salad at the salad bar.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the idea of trying it on a burger to see if that'd be any good, Kent.
Yeah.
Because I assume it's pickled. It's going to taste like a pickle, like a big old pickle on top of the burger, which doesn't bother me at all. This is a tier 3. I'm not adamantly opposed to it, but I also don't seek it out.
Give beets a chance. Give beets a
All
chance.
we are saying.
If you give grapefruit a chance.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Last time, Christy challenged us to eat the grapefruit that she brought,
I
and we
did.
were going to do a whole video on it. Zach and I both submitted our videos of us eating the grapefruit that Christy gifted us. Kent threw your gift on the floor,
It
I believe.
spilled on my shirt. All over my shirt.
It's like you saw a spider and you had to light your house on fire.
Basically, yeah. You've seen me.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
All right, what's next?
Next, we have bell peppers.
Now, these are native to Mexico and Central America, the Caribbean, South America. These were actually imported over to Spain, the seeds were, in 1493, and then spread throughout Europe and Asia. The name pepper, given by the Europeans when they brought it back to Europe, because they thought that black peppercorns originated from India. There was a highly priced condiment, so they kind of called these pepper too.
Oh,
Wouldn't you
okay.
like to be a pepper too? But they call them bell pepper specifically because the shape, obviously, because they look like bell.
Do you guys have a favorite color of bell pepper?
Red.
Green.
Yellow.
They're pretty much all the same, by the way. They're literally just left on the vine to ripen a little bit
Oh,
longer.
I think yellow is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a red fan.
You know, green is the worst.
What? Green's like the classic bell pepper.
I don't like it.
On a pizza?
Nah.
In a
What?
veggie tray?
You don't see yellow or red peppers on a Works pizza. You see green.
Because they're more
that's true.
elite.
It's because they need a different color.
Did you guys know that paprika is from peppers?
From Blue's Clues?
Yeah.
From bell peppers?
Okay.
He's
That's
The
magenta.
spice paprika.
Oh, it's the daughter of salt and pepper.
I was like, well,
Oh.
what's a paprika plant? And I looked it up. It's bell peppers. That's what it is. It's just dried and all mashed up.
All right, Joel, how do you feel about bell peppers?
I like
That's
bell
hard to
peppers.
say.
I enjoy them. I use them in a lot of the cooking I do, whether I'm making a chili or like even a stir fry. Like I can throw bell peppers in there. But my wife and kids, they enjoy just kind of eating them raw. Like they'll chop them up and just kind of eat them raw.
Yeah.
I'm not as big into that.
Okay.
I'm giving these a tier 2.
They are the crisp and most delicious part of your anxiety-ridden veggie tray. When you're panicking while the rest of the food is coming together, and you're eating vegetables, ranch obviously. They are always the best part for me of that veggie tray, and for that I'm giving them a tier 2. They're pretty good.
Have you had stuffed bell peppers?
Yeah,
They're really good.
Green ones?
yeah.
Oh, by the way, we are limiting ourselves because they do come in red, yellow, orange, green, white, chocolate, candy cane striped, and purple.
And yellow and red
And
purple.
and green and
Ochre and azure and
peppers. Okay, what about you?
one
Paz?
word, fajitas.
Yes.
These used to be my favorite thing ever, and then I turned 30, and now I love my husband too much to eat these ever.
what do they do?
I don't want to talk about
What
it.
is the side effect?
What happens?
She doesn't want to talk about
Tummy?
it.
Crummy tummy?
Toots.
yeah. Joel, is that allowed?
Time it. We're about half hour into the show. That's it.
The sleepy toots.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Yeah, we'll move on.
Oh, no.
So do you give this a tier 2?
Tier 3. Oh, dude.
Tier 3?
I can't
But
eat them.
fajitas.
I can't go into it.
Okay,
Wait, Zach is dying when he's eating a mango, and he's like, yeah, tier 1. This is great.
Because he's killing himself, not me.
Oh, good heavens.
All right, my 2 words are
Family friendly to all of you.
Philly cheesesteaks. And cheesesteaks is one word, by the way.
Preach.
Yes.
Yeah, these
Church,
are
yes.
necessary in a Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, are you all right?
That's so good.
You shouldn't be eating this. In fact, next time we go, I'm not allowing it. Not that we're taking a nap together.
I don't have the issues. She does.
Oh, it's your issues?
It's my
I was blaming Zach over here.
No, I said I love my husband too much
Because
to eat them.
Okay, we got it. Okay. But yes, these are very good. I didn't like them till I was an adult. For some reason, I hated the taste, even though I was fine with a little bit of spice. But it's a tier 2.
Spice? These are like the low. These are literally the lowest of the Scoville.
Growing up, I literally thought they were hot for some reason. Yeah, maybe I wasn't. I was like a
These
Utah
are literally the lowest
kid.
of the Scoville scale.
Tier 2?
Tier 2.
Tier 2. What's that smell? Oh, it's cooked broccoli.
The word broccoli, first used in the 17th century, comes from the Italian plural of broccolo, which means the flowering crest of a cabbage. So it's basically a diminutive form of bracco, or a small nail or sprout. This Mediterranean plant.
Yeah. Technically a flower.
Technically, it is a flower. China and India have they produce 73% of the world total.
Tiny trees.
Now, this is an edible little cabbage flower.
Yeah.
Is what you
Why
call
do
it.
we talk about the broccoli this way? Look at it, how cute it is.
Because we have to.
flowers.
I think broccoli is real inconvenient. I think it's quite messy. I think when you cutting it up, it's where do you start? Where do you end? Where does are you wasting too much? What do you do with the stem?
Also,
What?
Whenever I'm eating this on a date, for example, like beef and broccoli, which is delicious, right?
I love veggie.
But you always get the little bulbs in your teeth.
Bulbs in
and
the
they
teeth.
stay right in the corner of your teeth. And you're like,
It's no different than like a black bean or a piece of gum in your teeth.
it's the jokes on Baconsale.
I don't want to get crass, but the cooked broccoli sometimes give me
Okay.
The wiki toots.
Toots.
yeah.
Why? Why?
Killing Joel.
Why are the
Two is a very
Westerns
family-friendly word.
so free with their information?
Listeners, be honest. There are some vegetables that just don't
I
agree
don't
with
want
us.
that in the comments.
I think it's an age thing because I don't think any of us had those indigestive issues as kids. I ate broccoli all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, I don't really eat it all that much.
Really?
Yeah. Because I choose not to because my tummy makes the Elliot noises, right?
I have no problems with broccoli.
Comment
really?
below which vegetable gives you gas.
No, don't.
But
Okay,
I think covered in cheese, delicious.
Sure.
Yeah.
Covered in ranch when they're raw,
Yeah.
delicious. I think these, as far as broccoli compared to the other vegetables, I don't know that there's a bigger change in flavor profile from cooked to raw.
There's a big
I think they're vastly different, but I do think they're both of merit and quite good. I'm going to give broccoli a tier 1. I think it's really good.
I completely.
It's a go-to side when cooked at a restaurant, and it's a fun part of a veggie tray.
I agree with you, Zach. I am giving this a tier 1. This is actually probably one of my favorite vegetables of all because when I see a veggie tray, this is one of the first things I'll grab. It's
good.
I love little heads of broccoli.
Joel, you got something in your teeth.
And
I'll be
I
that
love.
guy.
I was going to say I use this in my stir fry all the time when it's cooked in soups or any sort of thing. I'm like, yeah. We even do the thing where you just cook broccoli, steam broccoli, put a little red vinegar on there, a little salt, and it is delicious.
My grandmother would make this for me. Put it in those white bowls that every grandma had, covered in plastic wrap with butter. And just pop it in the microwave. It was delicious, and I don't know. I was
I'm
having
a fan.
good time.
It's good, but it's tier 2.
Ugh.
Sorry.
Yeah, casseroles, soup, lots of good ways to brown butter and salt makes it taste a little bit like lobster. It's called Carmom broccoli. Not a sponsor of the Carmom official.
It's her favorite
my favorite
podcast.
podcast.
Carmom?
Besides Baconsale.
The car
Isn't it
mom.
pronounced cardamom?
No. But yeah, I agree with my best friend, tier 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Full-blown high five.
Brought together with broccoli. We have not agreed on a single one, have we? All the way
have
through.
not.
It's because the avocado, Joel.
I'm sorry. It ran out of space.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Now is our opportunity with the Brussels sprout.
These are native.
So when I told people about we're doing a vegetable show, What are your thoughts on Brussels sprouts? Everyone's like, really? You're doing a show like this?
No, but here's the problem. It's because
Okay.
back in the day, Brussels sprouts
conspiracy.
were much more bitter. And it wasn't until the 1990s when a Dutch scientist named Hans van Doorn,
Dr. Doom?
Dr. Doom.
Dorn, it says Dorn, just the R and the N blended together.
He shrunk
Hans van
cabbage heads.
That Dorn cat.
He identified the chemicals that make them bitter, which was sinigrin and progoitrin.
I love this.
But he
not you.
crossbreeded a bunch of different things, and he ended up making a much less bitter Brussels sprout. So nowadays they're much less bitter than
Is
when
that
we did
why
when we
we
were
always
kids.
see them on like appetizers now?
Yeah,
Because they're good
They
now.
become better.
I grew up with these. So I think I've always had the acquired taste. Granted, doused in butter.
I think anybody who says they like Brussels sprouts really just like some combination of honey, balsamic, and bacon.
Yeah.
The ones with the honey and the soy sauce.
Yeah.
So good. But are also very tasty grilled. Obviously, they were popular in Belgium, Brussels, Belgium, where it gained its name as the Brussels sprout.
Oh, it wasn't from Brussels, Montana.
No, not this one. That's where Christy's grandpa's farm was, I think.
No avocados. though.
But no, but these are native to the Mediterranean region. But you can find evidence of them being cultivated back in ancient Rome. Very popular there.
All right.
Kent,
But they were bitter then.
you grew up with
They
the bitter
were.
ones and you acquired a taste for them.
Boiled and buttered. These are like lettuce Whopper candies. Like I just like to eat these. Just pop them right in. Love them
Lettuce
so much.
Whopper candies.
Yeah, I'd say Whoppers, but then you'd think that it was Burger King Whoppers.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
This is a tier 1 for me.
tier 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bold.
I feel like these have become that rare, nice restaurant order, you
Yeah.
know? Like this is the fancy side at Roost Chris, like
Yeah.
bacon
Oh,
and
please.
balsamic. Like treat yourself to these elite Brussels sprouts, right?
The
but
little
like
cabbages.
at the end of the day, they are sauce delivery systems. They are just hard lettuce, tier 3.
Hard cabbage, I would call it. Tier 3, though? Man.
I feel like these are a leafy form of cauliflower. They give a similar flavor profile to me of a
okay.
cauliflower.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just kind of in a leafy form.
I disagree.
I do like them, but I like what's on them more. Like if you just steam
It's
broccoli.
a delivery system, like you said.
I
How's
was
that
going
a
to say,
bad
isn't
thing?
technically all vegetables just a ranch
Mostly.
delivery system?
Yeah, butter delivery
If you
system.
steam broccoli as is and eat it, it's still pretty good. Is it made better by butter and seasoning? Sure,
Yes.
but it's still pretty good. I think just a plain kind of cooked Brussels sprout is fine. However, it did get bumped to tier 3.
I'm sad. Joel?
And I like them.
And I'm giving this a tier 2.
Okay.
I do really, really enjoy them, but I have had some bad ones. So I'm going to put that right in the middle. Fun fact, by the way, about 80 to 85% of the U.S. production is for the frozen food market. So almost
yeah.
all of them are frozen and then
steamed.
like,
Okay.
people eat some of them fresh.
Okay.
Right, next up is cabbage, and if we take too much time on this, I'll scream. Joel?
What?
Cabbage makes you scream?
It's cabbage.
What?
It's cabbage.
By the way, it comes from the Latin word which means having a head,
A head of cabbage.
because it looked like a little head popping up out of the ground.
Zach, do you like sauerkraut?
Yes,
It comes from cabbage.
I know that.
So
Coleslaw.
It's the only good form of cabbage. And even then, it's questionable.
it's considered Russia's national food, okay?
I don't like Russia that much either. Well, we just got canceled.
This
Oh,
is considered one of the cole crops, or brassicas, meaning it's closely related to broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. They're all kind of therein together.
Okay.
Most likely domesticated somewhere in Europe in ancient history before 1000 BC. How's that for a general idea? Ancient Greeks recommended consuming the vegetable as a laxative.
Oh. Now who's going there, Joel?
But I was going to say, they also use cabbage juice as an antidote for mushroom poisoning and for eye salves and for liniments for bruises.
Save that for later.
This is waxy garbage. This
Listen.
is filler.
This is lettuce that goes to the gym. Think about
No,
it.
this is the crunchy, colorful, worse cousin of lettuce.
It's just supposed to add some color to your mixed
That's a
salad.
slight because lettuce itself is not super
Yeah.
exciting.
Exactly.
They put it in my order at Mo Betta's, the Hawaiian food place. They put it just to put a barrier between the hot meat and the styrofoam, so it doesn't melt. Okay, this is not good.
Ancient Egyptians used it to ward off getting drunk. They'd eat cooked cabbage at the beginning of meals to reduce intoxicating when they drink wine.
Okay, I do like sauerkraut.
Fun Food Facts calls this the grandfather of the vegetable world.
Well, what tier does Fun Food Facts give it?
Well, I think because of corned beef and cabbage, I don't actually love the taste of cabbage, but I do like coleslaw in pulled pork pulled pork sandwiches.
No, coleslaw was made from a mother trying to use up stuff in the fridge.
Well, the ingredients count.
Kent's like, don't dip your artichokes in mayo, but dip your cabbage in mayo.
Smother it.
Chop it up.
Actually,
pure mayo and cabbage.
I don't. I do a Louisiana coleslaw that doesn't have any mayo in it, actually.
He's a vinegar.
Vinegar.
Very vinaigrette.
Yeah.
And corned beef and cabbage. And that makes it a tier 2. Sorry.
Tier 3.
We got it.
Yeah.
It's also used for... It's also used for rheumatism, sore throat, mastitis, hoarseness, colic, melancholy.
Mastitis.
Yeah.
External.
Is that like a Power
Yeah.
Rangers thing? Mastitis.
No, Kent. Please don't
Say
make
what's a
that.
tiger.
That's a clogged memory gland, Kent.
Oh.
When you're breastfeeding.
Yes.
That's not a Power
It's a
Ranger.
women. It's a woman thing again.
Oh,
you put
of
it on
course.
top.
I'm not a fan of sauerkraut. I'm not a fan of kimchi. I'm not a fan of coleslaw. But I do really like corned beef and cabbage a lot. And there's some other methods of cooking cabbage I enjoy. This ended up at a tier 3.
So I give it the highest.
But the heaviest cabbage was 138 pounds, 4 ounces.
I like sauerkraut. I like coleslaw quite a bit. And cabbage is not so bad. So tier 3.
Okay.
Next up, we have carrots.
These are native to Europe and southwestern Asia. And its name comes from a Proto-Indian European word kur, which means horn, due to its horn-like shape. But the weird thing is that this was actually carrots were first actually cultivated for their aromatic leaves and seeds rather than their roots. People were eating the stuff on the top and not caring at the root at the bottom. Whereas, of course, now we eat the root of the carrot. That's the best part. Close relatives, by the way, of carrots include parsley, cilantro, fennel, anise, dill, and cumin. All cousins.
True or false? Carrots help your eyesight at night.
Oh, this has got to be garbage propaganda.
It is literally sort of.
It's true.
This reeks of big carrot just coming in and...
Well, it's actually a baby carrot. It's not big carrot. It's baby carrot. Which are actually big carrots just shaved
No,
down.
baby carrots are basically just deformed carrots. They cut off the bad parts.
Yeah.
I love it. They were deformed carrots given a second chance.
They are literally like
It gives me hope.
People wanted the long Bugs Bunny style long carrot, and if it had like an extra
It's called
branch.
diet.
If they
Am I
had to
supposed
shave
to
it
eat
down,
carrots?
No.
yeah, if they had deformities, then they kind of shave it down.
I want to shave my deformities down.
Speaking of propaganda, so Great Britain was developing, this was during World War II, new radar technologies to help their aircraft better find their targets in the dark. They didn't want the Nazis to know, and because there were spies and everything, they started running these rumors in newspapers saying that the pilots for the Royal Air Force were being fed carrots to improve their night vision, thus creating a plausible explanation for their improved nocturnal aerial successes.
When in reality, it was actually radar
Wow.
technology.
So it is true they do have beta carotene that do improve your eyes,
Right.
but it's not definitely you're not going to be able to see in the dark completely.
No.
So Zach, how do you feel about carrots?
They are the most overrated vegetable
How dare
in
you?
the world of vegetables.
Shameful.
I think they're fine, people. They're not amazing. That said, when I was a kid, I would grab a bag of baby carrots and I'd eat them like potato chips. They're a food that you can mindlessly eat, and you don't really get too tired of them. But I think they are vastly overrated. Still a tier 2.
Yeah, I think they're a great snack. I like how sweet they are. People underestimate how sweet they are.
They are quite sweet.
Yeah. I think they're good in stuff like soups, casseroles, things like that. I think they're good with roasts, but I think they're really good with ranch.
Yeah, they are. Or hummus.
Tier 2.
What? You just oversold it all the way, and it's a tier 2.
I'm just saying the things
Wait,
I like
Zach,
about
you do
it.
tier 2?
Tier 2.
So you two are agreeing.
This is the mayor of the veggie tray. There would not be a veggie tray. The ranch wouldn't even show up to the party if carrots weren't there. These are fun to shave. They're fun to eat. Carrots are
Shave?
all around good.
Who shaves carrots?
Did your mom never make you shave carrots?
Peel
in the sink?
carrots.
Peel.
I don't know how many hairy carrots, kid.
Listen, my Norelco shaver.
Didn't Harry Carrot do
he
the
did
games
the-
for the Chicago
Listen,
Cubs?
Yeah, Harry Carrot Jr.
Oh,
You shave them now. These are easy tier 1. They're
Yeah.
so versatile. I love them so much.
I just don't think they're special. I think they're just like...
I voted for that mayor too because these are tier 1. These are one
Yeah.
of the best vegetables out there. This and broccoli, literally, are the things I will grab on the veggie tray and kind of ignore a lot of the other stuff.
This is the apple of the vegetable world.
And apples
if you
are
remember,
amazing.
Apples are so good.
I rated those tier 3, so I feel like this is an improvement.
I'm
The
gonna throw an
carrots are
apple at
tier
you.
2.
next up we have broccoli's pale cousin, cauliflower.
So this is the albino cousin
It feels
to
like it
broccoli.
every time.
But really smart, though, because Mark Twain once said it's cabbage with college education.
Okay.
Because it's got a brain.
What?
Yeah.
It does.
What do you mean
look
it has a brain?
Looks like a brain.
Looks like a brain.
It literally looks like a brain.
The word cauliflower derives from the Italian cavoflore, meaning cabbage flower. Only the head is eaten. The edible white flesh is sometimes called curd. There you go. Little facts for you there. These come in 4 main colors: white, orange, green, and purple. Which
The purple cauliflower to me is the most entertaining.
Yeah.
they are.
I think it's kind of fun.
It's like when they have that green ketchup. It's like, oh, it's fun and different.
Yeah.
But yeah, China and India lead here with 72% of the world total. This is a cousin to broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and collard greens and kale. It's all those cole crops.
Is it a lesser cousin though, Joel?
It is a lesser cousin,
Yeah.
Zach. Well, I adore broccoli. Well, I think broccoli is the number one. It almost feels like cauliflower is the deformed cousin. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame of vegetables.
Oh,
In looks, in taste. If I close my eyes, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's what the Hunchback of Notre Dame was about. It's looks, Joel. Specifically.
wasn't about his personality.
Man, I can't even go into it.
But the cauliflower, I don't actually hate it. Like we do like baked cauliflower, and it's in soups, and I have no problem with it. But I'm not really a fan of eating this one raw. It ended up in tier 3, but I don't know, something about
Have
broccoli.
you had breadcrumbs? Like buttery breadcrumbs on top of cooked cauliflower?
Well,
Divine.
here's the problem: is also cauliflower is trying to get into everything again with cauliflower rice. Which
Do
is
you
Yes.
remember
cauliflower
the frozen
crust?
pizza
No,
Yeah,
challenge?
the pizza you guys
Yeah, with
ate.
the cauliflower
Listen,
crust.
But the alternative for people that can't have regular crust is nice, right? We didn't love it.
It's good enough.
There are
But
better
it's-
options.
Well, sure, but if you can't eat gluten, cauliflower.
Please don't. Not a sponsor.
I'm happy that cauliflower found its audience, by like, hey, you can't eat good stuff? Try me. I'll be the replacement there, even though it's not good if you can eat the real stuff. So, tier 3.
Yeah, tier 3. I agree.
I will give it a pity tier 3 because it should be lower. I don't like cauliflower. It's not good. It stinks when you cook it. One time,
I don't like caulimodo.
One time, a lady brought in a food tray to a potluck at an office I worked at, and we opened up the seal.
Oh.
and it stunk
pungent.
up the office for 2 days.
It is pungent.
She was banned from ever bringing a veggie tray again. We didn't know why it was so bad, but we just blamed her for some reason. Tier 3.
Listen, Frollo, all of you, I'm Esmeralda, and I'm going to give the Hunchback a chance because, guys, I don't know how, because it was between broccoli and cauliflower is a tier 1. What? And I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Because broccoli gets stuck in your teeth. Broccoli sometimes needs to be cooked just right. Cauliflower has the right amount of crunch. I love it in a veggie tray, and it's not embarrassing to eat. And it's bulky. It's
Not embarrassing to eat. I don't know anyone out there's be like, oh, don't look at me. I'm eating broccoli.
Well, if the cauliflower gets stuck in your teeth,
Like I
it's
said,
white. So it's just
you
it
cook
makes
it the
you
right
look
way.
like, ding.
Butter seeps into cauliflower. I don't love the smell, but I think broccoli has a worse problem than cauliflower, and that's why I give it the edge. Somehow it made tier 1. That's my hot take.
Wow.
That is the hottest take on Baconsale.
Yeah,
Probably.
Cauliflower probably has imposter syndrome by now with all the things it's trying to replace. I'm glad it's found some love in your heart.
Next is celery.
These are from the Mediterranean region. That came from the French word céleri and the Italian
stop it.
celeri, and the Greek word. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Celenon, meaning parsley. That's kind of where the name came from. Is parsley.
I don't care for them being veined out. I think it's a little weird. I don't like floss in my vegetables.
Amen.
That tastes like water. And granted, most vegetables here on this list are like 90 to 95% water.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Celery is that. That said, whoever invented peanut butter and celery deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
No,
but
gross.
no,
Anthrolog? No.
You never grew up with this?
Gentlemen,
I don't think it's like Nobel Prize worthy.
Yeah, no, united peanut
That's
butter
usually for science
and a bad vegetable.
and kin.
celery must be given the highest of honors for being the second best delivery system on this list, right? You can thank celery for delicious access to peanut butter, to cheese, and of course ranch.
But the
Because
problem
it's a
is
slide.
you don't want to eat the vessel it comes from. That's the problem.
It's fine. You just got to bite it at the right angle, or else you're going to pull back strings.
Yes, it's so stringy. I will say I do like it as a bulldozer to clean up the buffalo sauce.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
but that's about
Buffalo
it.
That's a last resort.
Yeah.
That's a last resort if you're still hungry after all the wings.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
sometimes it's all just spicy.
Yes.
And it is it is part of the holy trinity of Louisiana Creole and Cajun cuisine, which is celery, onions, and bell peppers.
Huh.
And in Cajun cuisine and jambalaya, I have no problem with this. Oh, by the way, it was first grown as a winter and early spring vegetable, and it was a cleansing tonic that people would eat after the winter where they basically had salted meats the whole time and no fresh vegetables. But do you guys remember when it was like in like 2019 and it was like celery juice was all the rage and it was this way to detox all the chemicals out
gross.
of you?
Yeah.
Apparently these claims have no scientific basis, but it caused a spike in celery prices. So thank you 2019 for that.
I did not give a shout out to carrots appropriately, but shout out to celery as well for being part of the mirepoix, which is carrots, celery, and onions. It is the kind of the base of a lot of soups.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
cooking. You can use the scraps of those among other vegetables, but specifically celery, carrots, and onion to be the base of lots of sauces and soups in cooking. It's a pretty vital ingredient to a lot of what you like.
Vital but gross. Tier 3.
Tier 3.
What?
Tier 3 as well.
What?
Zach, give it a tier 3. Let's match.
Tier 2.
Oh, we're
just
never
out of
going
it.
to get there.
That's fine. You know when you cook it up in Chinese food?
Zach needs to
pretty
go
good.
back in time to the early 19th century and 20th century when this was the third most popular dish, celery was, in New York City, behind only coffee and tea. At those days, it cost more than caviar. Very popular.
Wow.
Well, apparently I'd like it.
No, it's one of those flavors I try to get around. Like, it's like, okay, there's peanut butter here, I'll get
We'll
the
just
peanut
water
butter
out,
out.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of an annoyance sometimes. Oh, if they put it in tuna fish, it is the worst. Oh, it is the
But
worst.
it's good in like a chicken salad.
No.
Oh, no, it's a good little crunch.
That's
No.
pretty good. Zach,
Let
what's
it in
next?
your heart. I think we have a chance here. It's corn.
The big lump with knobs.
It has the juice.
It has a juice.
Okay.
This is, by the way, they don't even call it corn in Wikipedia. They call it maize.
Oh,
Because-
so fancy.
Because it,
We're all disappointed.
No,
in
because,
Wikipedia.
like, it was-
oh, nice try, Wikipedia.
it's
so traditional.
The term
Yeah,
maize,
got trapped in a corn
the
maze.
term maize is preferred in formal, scientific, and international usage because the name corn started in the 18th century North America because it was Indian corn is what they called it. So Spanish settlers came over and they were impressed by this thing that all the Native Americans were eating, so they decided to bring it back to Europe and give it to them. The thing is, the word corn kind of is a generic term for any staple food like wheat and can't think of any of this right now, but
Etc.
common name.
Oats.
Grains. It's grains
Bran.
essentially. And so but when they brought it back, they called this Indian corn. I mean, this is the Indian staple food. And so a lot of scientists in formal, scientific, and international usage, they use the term maize, M-A-I-Z-E.
That's amazing facts,
Guys,
Joel.
can we just take a moment to say thank you to corn? Because
Thank you,
we
corn.
have cream corn,
Okay, delicious.
popcorn,
Delicious.
deodorant,
Delicious.
cough drops, diapers, crayons,
Whoa.
gummy candies, soda,
You
Who's
lost me.
strapping corn onto their
Oh,
babies?
corn syrup.
corn syrup, cornhole.
it's so
all
good for you,
great
I think.
things.
Cornhole.
Yeah,
That's a great game.
delicious. Corn is why we're here today.
Corn is what brings us together today.
And if you have corn on the cob on your barbecue plate,
yes.
tier 1, I mean, that is just, that makes the plate.
In the United States, a good harvest is traditionally predicted if the maize was knee-high by the 4th of July.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
So American.
But what did you give it for a tier, Joel?
This is a delicious
Don't say
vegetable.
bud.
No.
Okay.
It's a delicious vegetable. And it's funny, my kids will freak out whenever this is like at the barbecue,
Yeah.
whereas I'm like over there eating a burger. I'm like, yeah, the corn's a good side dish. But they want the corn as the main dish. This is a tier 1. This is absolutely delicious. It's been proven for over 10,000 years when indigenous peoples in southern Mexico were using this, that this is a food everyone should have.
What do I drink every time we do a show?
Mountain Dew.
Corn.
Corn.
Drinking corn.
Corn syrup.
Delicious. Tier 1.
Cheers. Cheers
you
to corn.
can't base corn off of soda, man.
I love Haribo candy. Corn. Yep. Corn is
That's where your Haribo vegetable is.
every time you puke, corn.
Don't finish that thought.
I know where you're going with
Nope. Although
Never digested.
the corn grown in the
Ham.
United States, which, by the way, the United States grows the most of the 31% of the world total. But the corn grown in the American States, only 1/40th of it is used for human consumption.
Yeah, it's an animal food, right?
Mostly animals eat it.
Weird.
If you have never had corn that was picked the morning of, specifically,
Was
At our grandfather's farm. Was it grown there?
it was in Kansas. No, but if you've never had a corn on the cob that was picked that morning, whatever farm it was grown on, wake up. This is why life is worth living.
Have you?
Tier 1. Yes.
Okay.
We really had a family in family members in Kansas who had a corn farm. Is that even the term?
Yeah.
A cornfield?
Yes.
That
Cornfield.
sounds better. And we picked it and we ate it 2 hours later, and it was
So good.
It changed my life more than pineapple in Hawaii. I'm sorry, Joel.
It's okay.
I don't mean to
I gagged
compare,
less
but
at the
they
pineapple
are.
in Hawaii.
They're both gold. They're tier 1.
When I was watching Field of Dreams and he was knocking down the corn, I was cheering for the baseball field. Because I'll tell you what, corn is, come on, it's a tier 1.
We agree.
so good.
It's corn.
Finger boobs all around. Boop.
I love corn. It's so good.
It's our
And my
first
kids,
match.
my
on a
kids
tier one.
also like when they see we're having it for dinner, they're like, "We want the corn. We want 2. We want 3. We want 4."
You know what's
wants
amazing?
corn.
Least nutritional value on the list.
Oh,
Yes.
that's why it's so
That's right.
good.
It's basically butter and
carbs.
salt and pepper.
It's so good.
Have you guys ever had with the mayo on it though, and the chili pepper?
Oh,
dead
the
serious.
Yes,
Yeah.
Zach loves
Yeah.
it.
Love
With
it.
the
Max, like
Parmesan.
that
Cheetos reloaded is
Yeah,
really good.
Cojito.
So good. Let's keep this momentum going with cucumbers.
These originate from Himalaya to China. It's a creeping vine, meaning that it's just going to overtake everything
Oh,
if
it's
you
like
plant this
it's
in
a
your
scary
garden.
6-second video then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 6 seconds, yeah. China, 80% of the total, world's total of cucumbers come from China.
That was such a fun fact. Here's another fun fact. This is the start of the second half of this list. Joel,
Gosh.
what do you give it?
What do I give this botanical berry?
Yes.
It's a
but what-
berry.
Hold on. What?
It's a berry. It's a peppo.
What?
Yeah.
Along with the banana.
Because of the
I-
seeds on the inside?
Cucumbers is one of those, once again, my wife and kids, they like to pull out and eat on pizza movie night. And over there having my fourth slice of pepperoni, being like, you're eating cucumbers?
Oh, no.
Not a huge fan of cucumbers. in
Have
their
you
raw
had them
form.
marinated in vinegar and sugar?
Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't.
It's
I
my
actually
favorite
do.
way to eat them.
Yeah, and like we put them in, and my dad makes them in some nasi goreng that we
Yeah.
put on the top of it. It's really good. So I don't hate these, but I put them in tier 3 because I'm not going to go out and actively seek cucumbers.
Tier 3.
It got pushed down. I don't hate them.
These are the meaty parts of salads. They have a amazing crunch. It's like a honeycomb crunch.
Yes.
Honeycomb cereal, strangely enough. These do
Wait,
taste
not
like
honeycomb cereal.
the honeycomb cereal.
Okay.
Remember? The crunch
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, these are amazing on sandwiches. Absolutely. I get them every time I get Subway. Anytime we got Subway, I got cucumbers on that. It's a tier 1.
Yeah, see, this is my go-to on a veggie tray. I will skip the carrots and the celery and the broccoli. The cucumbers are my favorite. I love how fresh they feel.
They do have
add
very
a little,
fresh taste.
little salt to them. Great little
But we do
snack.
have garlic salt on there.
Yes, I wish I remembered to eat them when I bought them. They always go soggy in my fridge. But I buy them because I know I love them. They're tier 1.
Joel, these are tier 1. What have
Why are you telling me? Tell the listener. They're listening.
We
I'm
could've-
not.
You could have been a contender. We could have had
I'm
another.
not.
had
I'm not going to
something.
put. I'm not going to put the cucumbers on the level of corn. Thank you very much.
I would. I think these are wonderful.
I'm not going to cheer for cucumbers.
And so good in ranch. They're good pickled. So, cucumbers. Tier 1.
good.
Next, we have green beans. What is this show?
These originated in Central and South America. China does 70% of the total. These are also known as French beans, string beans, and snap beans, or just snaps. But they're green beans. That's what we call them.
Do you guys have them in any other way? I know they're canned, but like other than casseroles.
Casserole at
we talked
Christmas
about
or
these.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
these are the best delivery system for cream and mushroom soup.
And these are also ones that
Which
you
is
have.
bad.
You have to pick these before they're fully matured. You don't want the pods to get too big inside. I eat these all the time, meaning my mother-in-law has a garden and she actually puts these in there and grows them.
Oh, really?
We just ate some fresh ones the other day. They were very tasty. They also pickle them and turn them to like pickle flavor because you can do that with these and they taste like little pickles. They're tasty. And I do really enjoy green bean casserole as well. However, I also know that these sometimes have a metallic taste in the canned
I agree.
version.
Yeah.
And sometimes they kind of get that stringy thing going
Nice little
on.
botulism to the green beans. Sure.
It's only if the can is bulging.
Sure.
But I'm giving these a tier 2.
Yeah, these are tier 3 for me. I don't really enjoy them. I don't trust green bean casserole because it's cream and mushroom, which I don't really care for.
good.
I
In
do make
Chinese
a hamburger casserole.
Okay.
And that turns out pretty good. And you need green beans for it. That said, still tier 3. I don't hate them, but I don't seek them out.
Tier 2 for me. I love green bean casserole, but we don't really eat them much beyond that.
I like green bean casserole because I like cream and mushroom soup. The green beans are fine structure to that whole thing. I don't really like the just in a can green beans. Tier 3 for me. Next, we have kale.
Superfood.
Kale! The word kale originates from the Northern Middle English kale. I don't know what it says. Basically, it's a name for a bunch of different cabbages there. It's from the Mediterranean and Anatolia area. And Russian traders introduced Russian kale into Canada and the United States in the 19th century. But here's the weird part about it. It was introduced by a guy named David Fairchild, who introduced kale to the world, brought it back from Croatia, but he hated it. He hated it. This is the epitome of, this smells terrible. You smell it. But he did that with kale and then
It's
brought it
good
here
for you?
in the United States.
Yeah.
And it was mostly a decorative vegetable. People didn't really eat it until the 1990s when it became popular because of its nutritional value.
Well,
Probably in the Sizzler bar, right, Zach?
yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
that shredded paper in the Sizzler bar.
So much.
essentially.
Every one of my fruit displays, whether it was apples or avocados, was layered with kale.
This is the most likely crop to have residual pesticides stick on it. So that's good.
A little square of kale was placed on the plate of every one of the
Yeah.
meals that went out at Sizzler.
This is the unwanted sibling of the lettuce family. It's seen some hard times. It's tasteless, but
But it's a
getting to know
superfood.
it,
It's
it
a
would be
superfood.
valuable. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a garnish that accidentally became lettuce. Unless it's floating in zuppa Toscana soup, no thanks. Tier 3.
Tier 3.
I also give it a tier 3. I think this is pointless, and it's reached that CrossFit level of like, hey, you want to hear about kale? No, I don't. Tier 3.
I give it a tier 3.
Okay, good.
In certain soups like caldo verde in Portugal,
Yeah.
delicious. I have no problem with it. But raw, not a fan of kale. It's got a strong taste. Tier 3.
All tier 3?
Yeah.
Collective
Matchy.
tier 3.
that kale.
Take
Finally
that.
agree.
Corn is the
Again.
best. Kale is the worst.
Next is lettuce. We're talking romaine, iceberg,
Lettuce is just kind of
lettuce.
a thing.
It's native to the Mediterranean and Siberia. It was
Butter.
first cultivated in ancient Egypt for the production of oil from its seeds.
The average American eats 30 pounds of lettuce per year.
It is considered a sacred plant in ancient Egypt for the reproduction god Min, and was carried during his festivals and placed near his images.
Hold on. I need to go get the crown. The crown that I have packed to give to lettuce. This is the ultimate delivery device of ranch, blue cheese, honey mustard dressing, Thousand Island. Pick your dressing.
Yeah.
This is salad, man.
Yeah, this is salad.
This is the base of everything that's more delicious.
What does it taste like?
It doesn't. That's why it's so good.
Yeah, it's crunchy water. It's little blankets that hold chicken and avocado and tomatoes and crunchy onions
okay,
and
take-
ranch.
Do you guys have a favorite type of lettuce?
I like romaine.
Well, I asked that
I think
because
it's non-invasive, but it does have a little more flavor than like iceberg.
Well, because I feel like iceberg was like the thing for the longest time, and now it's all romaine. It's like iceberg isn't really
Iceberg is
around
so.
anymore.
Does romaine have the
it's
weeds in
nothing.
it? Like the purple weeds?
No, that's the spring mix.
Oh,
Spring
I hate
mix.
spring mix.
Spring mix is tough.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a little more bitter.
This is one of the vegetables here that is, unlike most of the other ones, is eaten raw, which means it is a big carrier of foodborne illnesses because people don't wash it correctly.
Yes.
Sizzler.
E. coli and things like that.
Not on my watch.
China's doing 53% of lettuce, and I like it. I think it's good. It's a middle ground staple. It is a tier 2 for me.
You don't make friends with salad, but
I've made friends with salad.
you've made friends with salad.
Chef salad.
You laugh at salad. It's real funny.
It's real
Women,
funny.
women laugh at salad all the time in stock photos.
I always start my buffets with a salad bar. Of
course you do.
Without lettuce, there would be no salad bar.
Steakhouse salads.
It's a tier 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah, same. Tier 2, I agree.
Collective tier 2 agreement.
There we go. Another match.
Finally, we're vibing.
Feels right for
Veggie
lettuce.
vibes.
Keep the train going.
Oh, we
Keep
are
the
gonna
veggie vibes rolling.
fall off the train
Oh,
here.
why?
With mushrooms.
Oh.
Very controversial.
Mushrooms,
and also
also known
not
as-
at all a vegetable.
Also, yeah, it's it is because it's growing plant, and that's what vegetable means.
Sure.
These are neither plant nor animal. Neither. These don't belong on the list. They're a fungus, guys.
They are.
They're a living thing that's not quite an animal.
But they're a real fungus.
no.
no, fungi.
Oh, I forgot how to pronounce this. I even looked it up.
Mushrooms.
No,
Mushrooms.
Mycophagy. Mycophagy or mycophagia, I don't know how to say it exactly, is the act of consuming mushrooms. There's a name for it, and it dates back to ancient times. Edible mushroom species have been found in association with 13,000-year-old archaeological sites in Chile.
Humans and mushrooms share a common ancestor, guys. Last of Us, cordyceps.
Yeah.
Mushrooms taking over people.
Yep.
They found mummies with mushrooms in with them as well. The most common one is Agaricus bisporus. Agaricus bisporus. We'll say that. That is the dominant mushroom that we find in North America and Europe. It is native to that area, and fully mature. It is known as portobello.
There's psychedelic effects.
No, really. This
Yes,
is
there are.
Russian roulette of the vegetable world.
I always think about the people who discovered like which ones
Okay.
are going to be good and which
Because
ones will straight up kill you.
Are you at recess? Are you eating a mushroom growing in the ground at grass? At school, right?
Oh, ew.
Or are you eating a psychedelic?
Yeah.
Or are you eating a mushroom that you can apparently eat?
Like I know if you eat kale, you're not going to see Elvis, but there is that risk here with mushrooms.
Sure.
Oh, you would die. Like they actually, like they talk about all the time, don't eat mushrooms in the wild. Don't eat
Yeah.
mushrooms in the wild. But I think about back in the day, they were just trying things out. Like they were like, maybe this one will kill us, or maybe it will taste delicious in a cream. So, and they had food tasters and the Roman emperors that they would actually have them taste mushrooms before it gave to anyone important. That would be terrible to have that as a job. And truffles are way overpriced, in my opinion.
Far overpriced. The oil is delicious.
But mushrooms are also very delicious.
Really?
I
Follow
enjoy.
that
I
size.
enjoy them on pizza. I enjoy stuffed mushrooms.
Do you eat 'em raw?
You know how sometimes you just chop them up and they're in the veggie tray as well?
Yeah.
I'll try that as well. But
As long as the manure is washed off.
as long as the manure is washed off.
Yeah.
And you can never really
Off
tell
the brown
when you're looking at
mushroom.
it. You can never really
Come
tell. It's
on.
white.
They're quite porous.
Yeah. But this is a tasty treat, and I do enjoy the mushroom flavor.
Tasty
The mushroom
treat.
flavor, like if it says mushroom on the menu, much like the avocado thing, if it says mushroom on the menu, I'll be like, what is that? Tell me more.
Oh, yes.
Or like when it's like a pastrami and mushroom on the burger, but Swiss.
Oh, like a
So
Swiss
good.
mushroom burger. Yes.
Yes. So tier one from me.
Or like
Mushrooms.
mushroom sauces and like
Yes.
stroganoff.
Yes.
Or the saute mushrooms on a
So
steak.
you guys give it tier 1, okay?
Oh my gosh, tier 1.
Zach, what about you?
I think you either love mushrooms or you hate them. I don't think many people fall somewhere in the middle. And I love them. I
Okay.
think they're so good. I love them cooked up, put them on a steak, put them on a burger. I'll eat them raw. They are great.
Want to ruin a pizza? Put a mushroom in it.
Wait, what did you give it, Zach? Zach, did you give it tier?
Tier 1.
Okay.
You want to ruin a Philly cheesesteak? I can't tell what's Philly cheesesteak.
it's so good on a
They're so
cheesesteak.
good on a Philly.
Or one of the best places for them.
Is there a snail on my Philly cheesesteak, or is this a mushroom?
Escargot is also tasty.
It's okay for things to be slimy
this
sometimes.
is my mango. I hate mushrooms. Hate mushrooms. And sometimes I'll eat them if I can't scoop it all off with my fingies on the pizza slice. And I'm like, I'll just hurry and chew it. But it's bad taste. It's bad texture. It's bad everything. Tier 3.
Hey, Zach, Baconsale approved the mushrooms are delicious?
Baconsale approved.
Yay! I didn't know. I had no idea.
Homie.
Because you're kind of picky with vegetables. I had no idea
No,
mushrooms were that far
mushrooms are
down.
my number one.
They're your pineapple?
I'm meaning my least bottom. Yes.
Wow.
My least bottom.
Next up is onions.
Onions, there's some controversy as to where these originated, but generally speaking, Iran, Western Pakistan, Central Asia, around there, the ancient Egyptians revered the onion bulb as they saw its spherical shape and concentric rings as symbols of eternal life. And they were used in Egyptian burials because they found a mummy with traces of onion found in his eye sockets.
That's just from the breath.
That
It
sounds
never went away.
insulting to put onions in the eye sockets of someone who's dying.
This is the vegetable popularized by Shrek.
Yes.
Onions
has layers.
have layers.
The sulfur compounds in onions are the things that actually make you cry, by the way.
Quite powerful.
And Americans eat an average of 19 pounds of onions per year. And in Libya, they eat 67 pounds of onions per year. I'm feeling like onion rings are probably the majority of onions that we probably eat here
Yeah.
at Crown Burger.
At least onions on
you brought up that it hurts your eyes,
Caramelized
but you didn't talk
onions.
about how to help it, which you can actually soak them in water, or also some people say just
not
put,
cry. Is that what you're
to
saying?
not cry, because
Okay.
you can soak them in water or soak the blade in water, or you can also, and I've tried this and it kind of worked, you put a wet paper towel next to your onions as you're chopping them, and the oils, which are our defense mechanism, actually go to the paper towel before they go to your eyes.
Is that a lie?
They attack the paper towel first.
Give it a shot. My wife actually
Okay.
wears goggles sometimes when she's cutting onions. I just doesn't want to
Pop
cry.
in
I've heard you
contacts.
can chew gum also, and that will help.
Oh, I'll give that a shot too.
Zach, how do you feel about onions?
I used to hate them when
Okay,
I was
what
a kid.
changed?
I generally still don't like them raw. I think when they're cooked, they're very good. Now I
Like
understand.
grilled cooked?
Well, apparently there's some controversy. Like,
Sure.
Most of the time you're having sautéed onions. Caramelized onions are a different thing. Take much longer to cook, have a much sweeter flavor. So most of the time you're eating them sautéed. I think sautéed onions are very good. Good on a burger, good on a steak. I put almost all the time whenever I have grilled mushrooms, I also want grilled onions. So they're tier 2. When you actually cook them, the smell is amazing. It's a great start to a lot of dishes.
Yes.
So not amazing. Don't love them in their raw form, though. When they are on the sweeter side, I think they're really good on a burger. Tier 2.
Oh, babe, you are exactly right on everything that you just said.
Get a
Yes,
Full
no,
of
I love
onions.
them sauteed and caramelized. But I actually wrote I start so many sauces and things that I cook with sauteed onions, and I will just literally have butter and onions in the pan, and Zach will walk in and go, "Ooh, smells good, babe." Like nothing else has been cooked yet.
Yep.
It's just the butter and onions, and it's true. They smell delicious and they make things better, and they're a tier 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's tier 2. I don't like raw onions. I always take them out of my burger if I get it in a fast food burger.
I like them to have been on the burger.
Essence of onion.
Yes,
is
I
fine.
don't say
Yes.
no
Or-
onions as much as I just pick them
For
off.
example, street taco, I like a little tiny, like a tiny little bit of onions.
When the pico has too much onion?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, a little too much. But grilled, sauteed, all good. Philly cheesesteaks, once again.
Yes.
It can be great.
I want
Onion rings.
Can I bring something up real fast,
Yeah.
though? Onions, they are very powerful in the fact that they stay on cutting boards. Have you ever had a strawberry that tasted like an onion?
Yeah, when you get the
The Tres Leches cake from Cafe Rio, they will cut strawberries to put on top, and they taste like onions because they cross contaminate their cutting boards. So just be careful
Get yourself
out there,
an
friends.
onion only cutting board for your house.
Yeah.
Special.
Joel, what about you?
I feel like I'm almost the male version of Christy here because I absolutely start every single dish with cooked like chopping
my
onions and
best
cooking
friend.
onions.
Stay out of
And
this.
my wife will walk in and say, "That smells great." I'm like, "It's just the onions." And I'll add the
Yeah.
garlic in. I'm like, "How about now?" But I love onions in cooking. But I have this weird love-hate relationship with it where I don't like raw onions on my hamburger at all. But I like a pico de gallo on my tacos, and I don't like onion rings at all.
Really?
But I love sautéed onions, and
Okay.
so like I have this weird thing, and I had this is the hardest thing for me to place, and it kept bumping between the two tiers, but I ended up at a tier 2 on this one.
All right.
Absolutely delicious. It needs to be in all your cooking, but I do not want it in raw form. The bloomin' onion is disgusting in almost every way, shape, and form.
Bloomin' onion.
I do not like bloomin' onion as much as I still.
They were good when we were teenagers.
Yeah, I guess they were.
No, it's
they're
raw
fun.
onions that you dip in horseradish. Those two things I hate.
They're always a little too raw for me.
Yeah.
The bloomin' onion.
Yeah.
Now we have olives.
These are a Mediterranean fruit and have been cultivated for thousands of years. The Mediterranean, once again, produces 95% of the world's olives. But many people aren't eating these directly off the tree. Because if you eat an olive off the tree, if you ever have, they're actually quite bitter.
Yeah.
So they have to either soak or marinate or pickle or whatever you want to call it. Commercial producers use lye to turn black olives into a much more softer texture and a milder flavor. They definitely have to be processed.
Lye?
And for years,
Like
lye.
for soap.
Yeah.
Gross.
But these actually were, for the long time, just used as oil. That's why they had it. These were not eaten. These were made so they could have olive oil
little
for their
EVOL.
lamps and for all that. The ancient Greece used to smear olive oil in their bodies and hair for grooming and good health. It was used to anoint kings and athletes in ancient Greece. And the Great
olive
Seal,
branch?
yeah, the Great Seal of the United States, first used in 1782, has an eagle clutching an olive branch, the power of peace.
Well, I think these are pieces of garbage. Wow. They're a tier 3 for me.
Is it because they taste like someone's been sitting in bath water for 6 hours?
For sure. These
Yeah.
are your pruny fingers. After a
Except
long
for,
bath.
speaking of fingies, the only edible way to eat an olive is by putting them on
I
your
have
fingies
not
first.
enjoyed an
Have
olive.
you never had an olive bomb?
A bath bomb? Like an
No,
olive
you
bomb?
take the ranch and you pour it inside the olive until it's full
Are
of
you trying
just
to
ranch.
save the
Then
olive?
You pop it in your mouth and bite. Olive bomb.
How much ranch is in there?
I'm going to do that with like sriracha.
I'll try that.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. I haven't enjoyed an olive since my fingers could fit in there. Because they don't anymore, guys.
Let me see.
I have skinny
Oh,
fingers.
big olives.
They do not.
No way.
No.
Not even
black,
that pinky.
But here's the thing. Black olives, they're fine. Green olives are pretty gross. Pimento infested green olives are disgusting. I was in a play once upon a time. We had pretend martinis. They were lemon lime Shasta and pimento olives.
Well, that sounds
And
like a
they
bad
were
combination.
So disgusting. I hate these things. Awful. Black olives are fine. I still have them on my pizza. I like them on my tacos, but they had to be tier 3.
Why put them on your pizza? They have no taste. Except for the bathwater thing.
They're
It's tier
salty.
3.
They're
are.
It's a little
salty chewiness.
Ew.
I know that sounds bad, but
I already have pepperoni. Why do I need other salty chewiness on my pizza?
I really like black olives. I just will eat them right out of the can. I'll get him to cut them up on tacos, but then I just end up eating them. And my daughter puts them on her fingers, and it's adorable. And the black ones, I think I really like, but the green ones taste like a moldy version of the black
Oh,
yeah.
olives, and so I'm gonna pass. So they made a tier 2 for me.
I really like olives. As a kid, putting on my fingers and everything, black olives I had a love for. I've had some bad ones. And then I grew to love green olives when I was over living in Europe, in Portugal, which, by the way, the oldest olive tree to this day, with an estimated age of 3,350 years, is in Portugal.
Whoa.
So, yeah. And I looked up a picture of it. Looks like a tree. But I gained a love for green olives over there. I enjoy them. Like a ham and green olive pizza is a great combination. And black olives and pizza, also very tasty.
No.
I enjoy olives, but it gets a tier 2 because every now and then you get a bad one.
Yeah, Zach, no, I totally agree with you. It's tier 3 all the way. These are gross, except for on your fingies when you were tiny.
Tasty.
You had tiny fingies.
I enjoy olives.
Next, we have peas.
Did you guys know the proper etiquette for eating peas is to squash them on the back of your fork?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Mushy peas, apparently, is
That
the proper
seems
way
weird.
to eat peas.
Yep.
This is one of those weird things where when we adopted it into the English language, the word peas was actually the singular version of it. Peasen was the plural version, as in peas pudding, which
Peas
is like
and Colin
kind
and
of
Cinnamon Choose All.
But then because English speakers, we put S at the other plurals, people assumed that peas was the plural and so dropped it to pea.
Okay.
That's why we call it that.
Who knew?
These are
Silly Americans.
These are a fruit, technically, because they develop from the ovary of the flower. But they were a fancy food for a while there.
Yeah.
Ken. When they were introduced in France, it was like they had this whole presentation to Louis the...
One of them, 14th or 16th.
I think it's 14th.
Yes.
Where like they presented it to him and it was all this in a fancy bowl and everything. And it was all so fancy. And now it's like peas are kind of not so fancy anymore.
Peas are the worst part of your lunch when you got it from school as a kid.
But getting peas out of the shell, that's so fun.
No.
It's a game.
That's a chore for farmers.
Okay.
On your farm?
Yeah. That's what we would do when we got in trouble.
Have you ever had edamame, which is cool peas?
Yeah.
I guess they're-
Edamame's a fancy peas.
Yeah.
they're okay.
Elite.
But
peas.
we're talking about garden peas here in
Yeah.
my mind.
Artichoke-
Not like edamame.
Garbage.
Not
Artichoke
soybeans.
boy likes to peel them, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do.
They're tier 3.
I agree. I don't like them.
I don't like peas.
It's like eating
I'll eat them if they're like in a pot pie and I can't get them out.
You'll scoop them out of a pot pie?
I said if I can't get them out like in a pot pie, then I'll eat
Oh,
them.
my word.
But I won't
No,
choose
it's like,
that.
It's like eating a Venus flytrap's guts, right? Like you just peel them.
That's how you're trying to appeal?
Yeah. I think they're tier 2. I think they're kind of fun. I don't love mushy peas because I don't think they actually work very well with butter. I like them raw.
I don't have too many problems with peas, but they ended up at tier 3
judging.
because I was looking at all the other vegetables I prefer more than peas.
Yeah.
But like if I have peas and corn like on a plate together, I'll eat the corn definitely first.
Kent loves peas.
They're tier 2.
Loves them. They're
Loves
so
them.
good.
Likes them as a friend.
Why did you marry him?
Listen, I can't commit to peas.
Next up, we have, speaking of commitment, potatoes.
A root vegetable native to the Americas. This was thought to have been domesticated in present-day Peru and extreme northwestern Bolivia near Lake Titicaca. And then they were introduced to Europe from the Americas by the Spanish in the second half of the 16th century. As of 2014, potatoes were the world's 4th largest crop after corn, wheat, and rice. There are 5,000 different types of potatoes.
And
Let's all talk about why they're tier 1.
I love them all. I love every kind.
Yeah,
Because
so
they
many.
can kill you, Kent? This is one of the...
Like you throw a potato at someone? Is that a threat?
Like a blunt object situation.
Okay, potato gun.
The potato is a nightshade in the genus Solanum, which means the vegetative parts can actually be dangerous for human consumption.
I like a little danger in my potatoes.
And if they get too much sunlight, they can also become toxic.
Potatoes are so good, they're basically bread. I'm putting it out there. This is the bread of the veggie world.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
It
just
is.
so
It is the starch.
so
Like,
adaptive.
if I'm going to be cooking something, it's going to be over rice, over potatoes, or on bread.
Yeah.
I love potatoes.
Potatoes are delicious.
I've never met a potato I didn't like.
Oh, by the way, the term for potato in other languages translates to earth apple.
That makes sense.
That does make
They have the
sense.
texture of an apple. You ever had a raw potato?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
not-
bad. And could possibly
and they
kill
can kind
you.
of stink if you leave them for too long.
Yeah, or
Like,
they
stink
grow.
real bad. Yeah.
little
When they start getting
arms.
little, when they start getting little roots coming out of them.
It is weird. You like put them in like the garage and you let them kind of just grow on their own.
That's where they like to be.
Keep them in the dark. They don't like the
But have
sun.
you
Joel
ever-
just said.
But have you eaten like a potato eye? Like when you get one of those
Yeah.
dark
Oh,
parts? That bitter, awful taste is like one of my worst worst things.
I don't
ever.
like shaving potatoes either.
These
by
are
the way.
all
Yeah.
shaving.
Healing.
These are all so gross, these things that we're saying, and they cannot overcome the deliciousness of the potato.
Because let's talk
it's
about the happy here.
Yummiest thing
Mashed
ever.
potatoes,
Oh,
French
Oh, yeah.
fries, potato chips.
speaking my language.
Loaded baked potatoes.
potato cheese.
Au gratin. Hash browns.
Oh,
Potato
legitimately.
cheese, sure.
Potato tots.
Potato flour.
Potato cheese soup is what I meant to say.
Potato cheese. Same for the cheese show.
Guys, this is the only.
That's a great idea.
This is
We've
the
talked
only
about it.
vegetable, as far as I could tell, in all my research that has a toy named after it.
Mr. Potato
Mr. Potato Head.
There's not Mr. Broccoli Head.
No,
No.
that would not do well.
No.
There's not a corn typewriter.
Can we all just agree then that potatoes is a tier 1 vegetable?
Tier
So
one.
good.
Let's all just say what our favorite kind of potato is.
So
Mine.
wait, save it for our potato show. We may actually do that.
Okay, well, I won't be there. So my favorite is loaded mashed potatoes. Specifically,
What, we're not inviting you to
at
the potato show?
Goodwood Barbecue.
I think she doesn't want to come back after this show. She's disinviting herself.
Now we have spinach. What a
From
letdown.
potatoes?
What a letdown after the potato.
What?
I should have just moved potatoes.
You were
to
not
last.
born in the Popeye era, sir.
Oh,
That made everyone
canned
go,
spinach
what-
was gross.
What's this about spinach? What's
Also
this
a
about?
lie, by the way. They advertised that it made Popeye strong, and they were saying like the health benefits are amazing. They times the nutritional content times 10 for people to eat spinach.
Kent, it is not a lie because Popeye himself stated that spinach is full of vitamin A, and that's what makes him strong and healthy.
Popeye, the real person.
No, Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in a 1932 comic strip. He
Drink
said
your
that.
Ovaltine,
So there you go.
kids.
He was upfront about this.
Unlike a lot of veggies, cooking spinach increases the health benefits.
Some health benefits.
Yeah.
If you cook it, you lose some of the vitamin C, but you get some other stuff. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a non-offensive vegetable, meaning I could put this in a salad, and it's just like lettuce to me, and then I get so much more nutrients out of it.
How much E. coli do you get? Because this is generally the carrier for E. coli when there's outbreaks.
This and spinach and cabbage, any of the
Yeah.
raw vegetables. I also put this in soups as well. We hide spinach in almost every single one of our dishes. I made sloppy joes the other day. Had a little spinach in there. 'Cause it's like
Really?
a superfood, and you bake it in other stuff, and you can't tell. Also, spinach artichoke chips. Just throwing that out there again.
Again, America.
Well,
This is like lettuce with tails, you know?
I love that so much.
It is, but it's like, and they're like, it's like thicker than lettuce.
Yeah.
And so it's a little more substantial.
Do you put this in your salads to like feel like you're being more healthy?
I do.
Sure.
I've
yeah.
used this as a base for salad. many
I think
times.
spinach
Yeah.
and ranch dressing covered on top, like it cancels out the calories because the spinach is there.
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
Right?
It's not nutritional facts from Baconsale, but sure.
Yeah, no, I went through a whole phase where I was like spinach only as a replacement of
Sure,
lettuce.
yeah.
And I feel like it was better
Yeah.
just in general. Yeah. So I give it a tier 2 because it's good, but it's still lettuce.
It's tier 2 because it's lettuce with tails.
I also think it is tier 2. I think it is more substantial lettuce. Definitely just good as a base to your lettuce or to your salad.
But you need lettuce as well because just spinach is
I've
real
had just
dry.
spinach. It's fine.
I've done that as well.
I had spinach a lot when we did the Subway challenge. I
Yeah.
got that on my
It's like
sub
already
all the time.
bite sized too.
Yeah, true.
It's like lettuce, but more healthy. And also, I think it's delicious in quiche. I think it's delicious in dips. I think it's delicious in the sneaky foods we put in there. This is a tier 1.
Dang it! I was like, don't
Tier
you dare
1
give it a tier
spinach.
one.
Wow.
Maybe it's just my Popeye upbringing, but I have a passion for
We
spinach.
could have agreed. Now we have tomatoes or tomatoes.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. But I think you might enjoy this, that the word tomato comes from the Spanish tomat, which comes from another word meaning tomato from the Nahuatl language. Can't that? But anyway, means swelling fruit or fat water or fat thing.
What? That's
what they
rude.
called
That's
tomatoes back in the
feels
day.
targeted.
Because these were decorative. For the longest time, multiple countries thought that tomatoes would kill you because it is also in the family of nightshade. It is a relative of the poisonous belladonna. And people wouldn't eat it. They grow it in their gardens because it looked pretty.
All right.
But they wouldn't dare to eat it until a little while later. And people went, okay, well, that guy didn't die when he ate it, so we'll eat it now too.
In fact, here in the U.S., more tomatoes are consumed than any other fruit or vegetable.
Yeah.
This is number one.
When China got it back in the 1500s, they didn't really know what to do with it, so they called it foreign eggplant. They had a word for it. I don't know how to pronounce it, but foreign eggplant's what they call it. Christy, you mentioned the corn, and if you get it fresh,
Yes.
how good it tastes. There is a definite difference between homegrown tomatoes and tomatoes you buy in the
For
store.
Yes.
sure.
Do you know why?
Preach. Tell me.
Do you know why? Because of the red color. They bred them in a way to make them uniformly red, where they're all that beautiful red color, and with that they sacrificed taste because they don't get those
interesting.
they don't
Okay.
get those imperfections in color in there anymore. By the way, largest tomato, 7 pounds, 12 ounces. That's the size of a baby. And we talked about it before. Technically, these are fruits. Technically, botanically, they're berries, but people consider them a vegetable.
Legally,
savory taste.
vegetables.
Legally vegetables.
Babs, how do you feel about tomatoes?
I agree with Joel. The sun-ripened tomatoes, this is one of the things my mom would grow in our backyard.
Oh, there we go.
And she would bring them in
This is a pretty
warm.
normal thing for someone to grow in their backyard.
Yeah. Bring them in nice and warm. She would just slice them and little salt and pepper, and we
Okay.
would just eat them raw. And people
Yeah.
thought we were crazy, but they're so, good. And making sauces from fresh tomatoes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Can
But-
you eat a tomato just like an apple? Is that something you do?
No. I really like the fresh slices just like on like scrambled eggs or on salads or on sandwiches or
Okay.
next to most anything. I think just a nice tomato on top. Tier 1.
Zach?
Tier 2, when they
Shocking, actually.
as described, sure, that's great. But the ones you get from the store, the ones you get, on a burger at a fast food place, they are nothing but slime.
Yeah.
They don't really add much of anything to
What?
me. It's a texture thing, but not so much a taste. Yes, grown from the garden, it's a completely different flavor profile. It's so much better. But when you actually get them at the store, I just find that they are tier 2.
Yeah.
I think if you get the ones that are on the vine from the store, you have a better shot at
Yeah.
flavor.
Also, once again, like, how romaine lettuce is taken over? Like, it's now the thing. Roma tomatoes. I'm like, when did Roma tomatoes become the thing that everyone buys?
Oh,
in
I
stores?
low-key hate sun-dried tomatoes.
Do you guys like cherry tomatoes?
I love sun-dried
No,
tomatoes.
they
You don't like cherry
are
tomatoes?
little grenades of not good kind.
No, whenever
Tell me how you really
whenever we
feel.
get the cherry,
good grenades.
whenever we get the cherry tomatoes at the salad bar, we'd kind of
Yeah.
cut open and make a mouth and make it talk, and then squeeze it in the
and then you get it all over your shirt.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Joel,
it's fun.
You love tomatoes, it sounds like.
No, tomatoes are fantastic. Like, and I, once again, I'm not a recent convert, I guess. I didn't really like tomatoes until I started working at Quiznos and accidentally had them on a sandwich, and I was like, that's actually not bad. And then I put them on a Whopper, and I'm like, I like that as well. So I started putting them on more and more things. I use tomatoes in a lot of my cooking. I think they're really, really tasty. My mom made homemade salsa every year, and so that smell of just kind of the tomatoes in the water, like everything,
Yeah.
it reminds me of home. I really do enjoy tomatoes. This is a tier 1 for me as well. These little fat things get a tier 1 from me.
Yeah, fun fact: cooked tomatoes will probably kill me because of the acid.
Oh,
It's
wow.
terrible. Hey Kent, why
Add a
do
little
you,
baking soda or sugar to kill the acidity.
Oh, that's great. Hey Kent, why do you hate tomatoes?
They ruin every sandwich. They ruin every hamburger. They ruin everything. I hate tomatoes. They're my second. They're
No.
least bottom. Second least bottom. Since we're going to that. This is my second least favorite fruit / vegetable /
I
anything.
knew it.
Oh my word.
I think
Babs,
salsa.
there was a time, Babs, when I got Kent, I was very nice, and I got Kent some street tacos, and I was like, oh, Kent, here, let me get this for you. And I got it, and I put some pico de gallo in there, because I'm
Yeah.
like, here, Kent, I'll lovingly give this to you.
Raw onions and raw
Slapped it out of my
tomatoes.
hand, and he punched me in the face.
Yeah, I really did you recover from that?
No.
Salsa is amazing. I
Yes.
love salsa. I can even do chunky salsa, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think
With chunks of tomatoes in there, you're okay with that?
miniaturized tomatoes, I'm great with. Marinara, great. I'm okay with tomato chunks. But if
Ketchup?
I'm eating a raw ketchup, no. Mostly vinegar based though. That's what I don't really care
Vinegar
about.
and
Ketchup.
sugar.
Like my siblings used to eat like salt and tomatoes, just like an apple, and it always grossed me out. I cannot do it. It's a texture and a taste thing, and it's too slimy. Never ever hate them. Totally hate them.
So you're giving it what?
Oh, it's a tier 3. If I go to like Taco Bell, I'm like, no tomatoes on that place. They're like, sir, we didn't even have tomatoes on this in the first place. No tomatoes, please.
It's worse when they put like little crunchy onions in a burrito. Why do
Yeah.
they do that?
And finally, we have zucchini.
We've gone all the way from artichoke to zucchini.
Are we that excited about zucchini?
Hey,
No,
hold on.
it's almost over.
Okay.
Also known as zucchini, courgette, or baby marrow.
Oh.
You hear that? Oh, that's everyone in Utah trying to give you their zucchini.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
These grow like by accident. It's like, oh, I accidentally grew a whole harvest of zucchini. And then you know what they do? They shred it up, they put it in bread, and they make you think it's banana bread, but it's not banana bread, it's zucchini bread, which is completely different from banana bread.
Much like labradoodles, these are hypoallergenic. No one has ever had an allergy to squash or zucchini. So, just letting you guys know. Don't eat labradoodles,
Don't
by
say
the way.
no one ever. We're going to get a comment that's like, I did.
Asterisk. Don't do it. They're annoying, but cute.
Speaking of labradoodles, if you chop these up into little spiral noodle spirals, they call them zoodles as an alternative for gluten-free people.
Are you guys
pasta
okay
noodles.
with
Yes.
zoodles or squash? Spaghetti squash.
Kind of.
Not as a replacement for noodles, but just by the sheer
like
fact
mix it
that I
up?
kind of like them.
Okay.
I'm okay with the zoodle.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the zoodle. I don't know why the crunchy pasta never did.
I get
Spaghetti
it.
squash, same thing. I'm not a big fan of the crunchy pasta. I don't like it that al dente. But by the way, this is also a berry.
No.
Zucchini is a berry.
You might as well spell zucchini with 3 Z's because the mention of it makes me sleepy.
Spell zucchini without looking at it. Can anyone do that?
ZUCHINNI?
No.
Double
There's
the
two
C.
C's,
Yeah.
right?
Two C's, one H, one N.
Yeah.
Zucchini.
Oh, okay. Now we got that.
I'm upset, but it's a tier 3 just because I'm a little bored by it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is the thing that I use when broccoli is unavailable or we're bored with it. Is I get either the green or the yellow zucchini and we dice it up and saute it in butter, and that's the vegetable that we eat at our house.
Okay.
because
And it is-
I, love
I get
it.
that.
And it is very good.
Yeah.
But you mentioned this doesn't. No one's allergic to it, but this does contain a toxin called cucurbitacins,
Sure.
which makes them sometimes makes them extremely bitter and causing severe gastroenteric upsets.
I get it.
Oh.
When you're asleep. Oh, you're asleep.
Oh, that explains so much.
Yeah.
What do you give it, Babs?
I really like zucchini. It's a tier 1 for me. I
Really?
like it as a side on to dinners, and I like zucchini bread. I have a recipe with like extra oil in it.
She's
that
gonna
just
trick
makes
you.
it so good. And,
So I'll try this banana bread.
Liar. Zucchini bread is a
Zucchini
liar.
bread has no flavor.
but you toast it with butter.
yeah,
Meow.
you like butter. Meow. You like butter and bread. It just so happens to have zucchini in it.
That's what all vegetables are. We're being tricked to eat them. They are plants.
That's
I'm never eating a vegetable again.
to me. Oftentimes, the generally
5 to 6 servings a day, Kent.
the cooked zucchini is good. However, sometimes texture's a little on the soggy side.
Yeah.
Not always a fan of that. Reheated after cooked, no thank you. Tier 2. I like butter and seasoning.
Zucchini is the tofu of the vegetable world.
I agree.
It kind of absorbs whatever taste.
Oh, yeah,
it's there.
no,
You
no,
can
no.
put it in anything. We sneak this into tacos sometimes, into our taco meat.
Okay.
Into sloppy joes as well. In spaghetti sauces, it kind of just is there, and then you kind of just chop it up, ground it up.
Do you
and
tell
put it
your
in
kids you think you're eating meat right now?
there. No, I was going to say they know about mom and dad's sneaky vegetables
Okay.
that we put in there, but it's a way of getting them to eat it. And then they don't mind zucchini, but this really is kind of an obnoxious plant to grow. I'm not a huge fan. I would never kind of just eat it raw, but in stuff, it's fine. I gave it a tier 3.
All right.
And with that, we are done.
So we have tiered everything from artichoke to zucchini. 24 items. Zach, when did we agree?
We agreed 4 times.
Wow.
4
Ooh,
times
that's not
is
much.
all.
That's 1/6.
The top 2 were a given. Corn and potatoes.
Obviously,
all around.
yes.
Obviously.
Proud to be an American.
You guys want to go to KFC after this?
Yeah.
So do. Absolutely. The most mid of all award goes to lettuce.
Fair.
We all gave
Fair.
it, right?
Yeah.
Does that feel wrong at all?
No.
No.
Feels right.
And we might have just got this one right because our only agreed upon tier 3 was kale.
Yes, sir.
Take that kale.
Yeah.
Down with big kale industry. But we want to hear from you. Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on Instagram. Let us know on Twitter. We want to hear from you and see where your veggie rankings are.
Before we go, we want to thank some patrons in a couple of categories, including the I Am a Listener tier, which is Ryan and Marley, Lady Terry A. Finley, Jennifer Kilkowski, Adam and Rachel Crump, Scott Sprague, Sir and Madam Hicks, Andrew's doing a big jump, Rocky and Steph, Taylor Sanderson, Dave Kelly, Casey Cummings, Juice the Cooler King Swallow, Angela Plotz, and Briggs is Hot. Then, of course, we have the Bacon Council, which is Nicole Deek Hale, the one, the only Chris Anderson, Stephen Everyone's Favorite Ross, Her Royal Highness Jessica Terry, Star Wars expert Kyler, our favorite couple, the Madsons, Johnny English the Brick, Chloe Clendaniel, Debbie Foster, and Beaker.
Thank you,
Thanks,
patrons.
patrons.
You are the po to our potatoes.
Potato.
Potatoes.
Boil them, mash them,
Stick them in a stew. But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter. You can find me performing with Quickwits. They perform at the Midvale Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quickwits Facebook page.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Kenny3DD. You can read my movie reviews at ShowtimeShowdown.com. Babs, before we close out the show, thank you for being here once again.
Aw,
Thank you for joining
you.
us.
Thank you for having me back, even after I insulted you all on the fruit show. At least
Both
once.
shows now.
Oh, well. Baconsale.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Just my mom for her amazing vegetable garden growing up.
Which didn't have avocado.
You know what? It wasn't California. We don't have trees. They're fruit. Anyway, just a shout out to you guys. I enjoy Baconsale.
Aw.
Happy it's part of our life. And
Thanks.
this guy over here,
Thanks for letting us borrow Zach.
pretty cute.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to connect with me, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram or Threads at Doubling Mustard. But more importantly, make sure you're following Baconsale. Please like that Facebook page or visit @Baconsale on Twitter and Instagram. While you're doing that, visit tpublic.com/Baconsale, where you can get yourself some merch. And then, of course, if you like the show and you like what's going on here, you want to support us further, visit patreon.com/Baconsale. Support starts at just $3 a month. You can get access to all sorts of fun benefits. And, of course, the Bacon Bits, where we got a little crazy on this last one.
A little bit.
Patreon.com/Baconsale. So until next time, enjoy the butter. Here's a hint. It rhymes with Veggie Tale.
Hormonal male.
Hormonal male. That's recorded. Hormonal male.
Kent, did you
Bean.
know that 98% of my life I have gum in my top lip?
Do you?
Except for when it's a bean.
One time. Yeah, it was,
Yeah, he
it was
went
a
to
bean.
retrieve his gum and he was like, I was like, what's
Yeah.
wrong? He's like, this is a bean.
Treats for later.
What's slightly less fun than fruit? Vegetables?
Vegetables. Since you're my husband's best friend,
I don't need your pity. Best friendship.
it's like a pirate veggie.
I am no veggie mutant.
My mom has an amazing vegetable garden, so we grew up with lots of stuff. And asparagus is not something she grew. We didn't. Okay. Oh, it's so hot in here. Okay.
Market, that's the fourth laugh break we've had. Fourth.
24 minutes.
Market.
24 minutes in.
If dirt could bleed, it would turn into a beet. No, we didn't grow this. My mom has some integrity. The sleepy toots.
Why are the
Toot is a very
Westerns
family-friendly word.
so free with their information?
This reeks of big carrot. I want to shave my deformities down.
This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Of
Oh,
in looks, in taste. If I close my eyes, I'm like,
Yeah, that's what the Hunchback of Notre Dame was about. Corn is why we're here today.
corn is the best, Carol's the worst.
veggie vibes.
Like, I know if you eat kale, you're not going to see Elvis, but there is that risk here with mushrooms.
My least bottom.
Bloomin' onion.
Olive bomb.
Potatoes are so good, they're basically bread.
This is like lettuce with tails.
Much like Labradoodles, these are hypoallergenic.
I want my brain back. No, I'm facts. Your feelings.
Your looks.
You're the heart.
Fun.
I'm the brain.
Your cauliflower, I'm artichoke.
How dare you?
And I'm the
Give
lower.
me cauliflower.
I'm giving you cauliflower.
I'm the lower intestine.
What?
Okay.